Oh no. Alright, there we go. Hopefully, should be better. Apologies, everybody. I was using Liam's import of all of his OBS shenanigans that he had set up, and because of that, we do indeed have all of his kind of hardware on here that I have to change the name of to mine. So, working through it one bit at a time, but welcome, folks, back to round 2 of week 1. We're going to be getting into the second half of our games. 3 matches, and honestly, the matchups are looking quite exciting. I'll feel free to just chuck a quick little noise gate filter over this for you all. Doing it live, doing it as we go. But yes, there we go. This should be fine. Cool. So when I'm not talking, you guys don't have to hear my air conditioner, etc. in the back. Love to see it. All right, we're gonna add to Django, and we're gonna get him here, folks. But so today I am actually joined by one of the competitors of yesterday, and that is to Django, who is going to be on the caster desk with me today. So if you wanna make yourself known here, to Django, you might be AFK.
G'day, what's going on? Sorry, we're just trying to get this game on the way. What's going on, folks? How you doing, Cadius?
I'm doing all right. We're about to hop into another exciting set of games, and I got to say, do you have your eyes peeled for maybe any matchups in particular here as we head into the games?
Yeah, obviously, I think our match of the week today is going to be our finals repeat from last year. We've got Destiny versus Jewpies Angels. So keen to see that game. So keen to see where everyone's stacking up in week 1. So stoked.
Absolutely. Now, before we do hop into the games, obviously, our season for this year could not have been done without our generous sponsors. So our major sponsors here, obviously, the Territory Zone, Paul's Ice Coffee, the Northern Territory Government, and McDonald's Darwin. So big shout outs to them. They're the ones really delivering this season to you all. But of course, it couldn't also have been done without our minor sponsors here, and those are going to be Next Tier Entertainment, Serotonin, VRGamers, who actually are going to be hosting all of the offline fighting game parts of NTEL this year, and round 1 for that, I believe, kicks off on Thursday. So if anybody wants to go down and watch some fighting games happen in the Darwin CBD, head down to VRGamers on Mitchell Street on Thursday. I believe it starts at 6 p.m. It's going to be an absolutely amazing time. Gammon Creations, very long time supporter of Next Tier, definitely. They've kind of done catering at a fair few events of ours. Tracy Village, Howard Springs Tavern, The Rabbit Hole, Palates of India, Fresh Point, John's, Diamond Barbers, a burger logo, which I will have to get back to you on exactly who that is. Wicked Energy, Joyce,
I
Mayne.
believe the burger logo is District North.
District North, thank you. See, Django's on it. Joyce, Mayne, Next Level, and the Bell. Do you know who the Bell is?
Yeah, that is a tax company. I don't remember their name though.
I see. Well, definitely thank you to all our minor sponsors as well. There's so many of them this year. It's so good to see, and it's definitely going to be making the tournament all that much better. Now,
we do have a bit of a situation on our hands. I believe one of the teams in our first match have FF'd. Apparently their players can't make it today. So I think we're just going to set up an ARAM. We can invite a couple of viewers if anyone wants to join. Would you like to play, Cadius? You can just stream from your point of view.
nah, I'm not getting involved. Not getting involved.
Not getting involved with that one. Yeah, a bit of a yikes on there. I think it was their first game. I'm actually not even sure what team it is. Let me just pull it up. I have to hold on, folks. I'll get some invites sent out in just a second. So I think the team FF for fun has FF'd, which is pretty epic.
Definitely a little bit ironic. Now, I gotta say to Django, out of kind of, you got to play in a good couple of games and to good success yesterday. Definitely your team leading at the moment 2-0, and that's going to make you feel fairly good. So was there anything that really kind of like you felt surprised about, or that kind of really, felt noteworthy about the games yesterday?
It was, yeah, it was an interesting one for sure. I we were expecting to be a bit of a middle of the pack team, but I think we're looking a bit better than that at the moment. We've definitely like been practicing a lot and have a lot of room to improve, but I think
Mm,
we might have just got a bit lucky on some of the newer teams, honestly. So we're pretty happy with that. Might have just caught them out in like an experience gap or something, and I think there was even a little bit of a rank diff in some of those games, but we're pretty happy with how it went. We're happy to be 2-0 ahead, but we're not trying to set up any huge expectations because we've a couple of the top teams that we've been scrimming haven't been great. So glad we're ahead early, but we'll see how the next couple of weeks pan out, I think.
definitely is something to look out for. Now, I have not received word on what exactly is going on. Liam will probably get back to me at some point soon.
Yeah, so I think we're just gonna get an ARAM happening here. Just gonna invite a couple players.
Oh, you actually are running an ARAM.
Yeah, I mean, just to kill the time until the next match, essentially.
Okay, okay. Well, I mean, if we only have 10 people, I'm happy to hop in.
Yeah, let's check out the chat.
I actually do have chat. I have chat popped out. Chat is actually going crazy. How's everyone going? Goodness
What's
me.
going on? Oh, my boy Chris, my boy Cameron, what's happening, fellas? If you guys are on, I will send you guys an invite.
Definitely is unfortunate when one of the matches just doesn't kick off, but you know, it does happen. Happened a little bit last year. Is bound to obviously also happen a little bit this year. Hopefully, it does not happen too much, but you know, that's what happens when you have a roster of teammates and then they don't show up, and then also neither of your subs show up, I guess.
Yeah, it's a bit of a classic. I think they were missing 2 members, and at that point, they'd already kind of given up to try get their sub in and then try and get another sub after that. Might have been a bit difficult for them on late notice, but
Definitely.
got to be organized for these things. So
Django
in the
and
meantime, Corona Spaceship
I
gonna
think
take a
I
free
think
dub.
you and Hunt need to like hop in so we have 10.
I think we're gonna invite some more. You can play or you can cast.
I'm happy.
Might
Well, if
just
we're gonna
cast.
have casters, I'm happy to cast, but I don't know if
Yeah,
we're gonna have enough to play without
we
having
can
the two of
just
us fill.
we can just talk some schmack. I've got a few more people invited. Let's see if Chris and Cameron want to jump in. It's my boy Techna. And there's my boy Gator. Alright, that'll do. That's 5.
That's gonna be 10. Yeah, we'll kick it up. Let's go.
Start when ready, Davo.
I guess I will hide all of the teams from the champ select.
Oh, wait for Hunt. Nice. I think it's just blind pick too, so there we go.
Yeah, it is going to be blind pick, so these players aren't going to be selecting their mains, I suppose. But obviously,
Gonna see the
Phoenix
famous
gonna
Phoenix
be
TF.
hovering the TF right away, no hesitation there.
The Ezreal coming out, getting that Divine Sundera BS happening early.
Let me quickly just make a little text scene here.
Oh, nearly got Mirror Zoe picks. I think they can see what the other team is picking on stream too, which is pretty epic. I don't know how that goes with blind pick, but well, we're just having a fun little exhibition match just to kill the time between the next match. If you guys are just joining in late, FF for fun have FF this game. They didn't have the players to make it, so we are just going to play a quick ARAM and kill the time until the next match, maybe 1 or 2, see how long that takes us. Ooh, alright. Have a look at these team comps. Chris Strider's locked in there next, and we've got a couple mains. Everyone's locked in their best chance. We've got the Senna, we've got the Orm, we've got the Zoe, the Jin. This should be a pretty epic match, actually. As far as ARAMs go.
There we go. A little bit of text there for everyone, so that we're able to know what's going on.
Perfect. Look at that. That's some pro streaming right there. You've done this before.
Well, yeah, I mean, I did every game last year.
That's what I'm talking about. Cool. All right, we got a bit of stream delay happening there too, so that's perfect.
All right, should we
We've just
come
got
up with names for the teams? If any representatives of either of these teams want to come into the stream chat and let it be known on exactly what you would want going on here.
So I believe our team on the right, on the red side, we do have Corona Spaceship. So they were one of the teams scheduled to play
Oh, so
today.
that's the full team, Corona Spaceship? Okay.
Yeah,
And then
from
we've
my
kind of got
understanding.
a wild card team with next tier CEO himself, David Moore, Phoenix tier, hopping in on the Twisted Fate. I believe he's actually like the first or second player
Yeah, I
for
might pull that
mastery
stat up
points.
actually because
I
I think this is a new account.
I think it's a different account. Yeah.
Yeah.
His first account did get banned, so I
Yeah.
think he's playing on a second account. So he might not have the crazy mastery points and the PAX Twisted Fate like he once did. But you know,
But
it's still
he was
technically
top 5 at one tier.
still
yeah, he
technically-
was top 5 Twisted Fates played in all of Oceania.
still
which
like
is crazy.
technically, as far as like games on Twisted Fate goes, he's still probably one of the highest on the server. So always fun to
Yeah, I'd
watch.
say so. It's always a good time. Love to see Dave get involved. These teams are pretty interesting. I think they, as far as frontline goes for this match, we just have an Ornn versus a Renekton. So that'll be pretty interesting to see how that pans out. Otherwise, everyone's just going to be poking each other for days. Should be interesting. This is going to be an absolute fiesta for a little warm-up match before we get into both of our Destiny games, including our game of the week, which is Destiny versus last year's rating champs, Jewpies Angels. So that's going to be
Absolutely. Now, I suppose while we're waiting, we may as well just run through the sponsors once again. Just
Yeah, go for
quickly
it.
get it out there, get it going before we hop into our next game. But as many of you may know, next year, Gaming and Esports is bringing you the Northern Territory Esports League 2021, brought to you by our major sponsors, the Territory's own Paul's Iced Coffee, who are actually celebrating their 60th anniversary this year. So, you know, Grandma and Grandpa might have remembered when Paul's Iced Coffee first hit the Territory shelves back 60 years ago, maybe, but I mean, you know, I definitely don't remember that one myself, but obviously has been a bit of a crowd favorite here in the Territory for that many decades, and now here they are helping us with, you know, a League of Legends tournament, which when you look at the span of obviously 60 years, League of Legends is, you know, video games, esports, kind of a new thing, right? So
so huge, so great. to
shows
have
they're
such
a little bit of
big
a
sponsor involved,
progressive company, I suppose, in terms of, you know, what they're looking to do moving forward.
really. And we love to see it.
McDonald's Darwin Group as well, who are the majority of Macca stores in the Darwin and Palmerston region, and the Northern Territory Government / NT Youth, who are supportive of our engagement with the youth sector. So definitely love to see those folks hop on and supporting. But we are indeed about to hop into our first game here, and how exciting is that once it does decide to show the game. There we go. And we're going to be hopping right on into things here. I will have to probably change the team name. I suppose it doesn't matter that much, actually. It will say FF up there, but just do note that this isn't actually Team FF. This is just a wild
team
card
that
team.
has FF'd and been replaced. Because of
Yeah.
that.
We do have the actual other team, though, here representing themselves.
Corona Spaceship.
Corona Spaceship,
Now,
the
these
very
were guys
same.
that played on Thursday. They had a pretty good showing. I believe it was Pandemonium in the top lane that was leading them on that Nasus, which was a pretty good game. We enjoyed that. I think David Moore has stepped into the chat and has named that new FF team the Falling Tears. So let's see how the Falling Tears go.
Is it frozen for the stream? The game?
Yeah, not
Wait.
quite yet. I think there is a delay, but
No. Like, it's actually not updated the thing. I can fix that, though. Hold on. Do I need to change to full screen mode? Is that one? You want me to be in full screen?
we do have the Zoe versus Zoe matchup in this one. That'll be pretty entertaining to see.
We'll do this, see if it fixes itself.
Don't get to see the blind pick matchups happen too often.
It's really interesting. So it picks up the
Oh,
loading
Adolf's getting
screen.
out early. He's
It's
dodging
not-
a snowball there.
Jenga, you
The
are
Fiesta's
shoutcasting
about to
nothing, my
begin.
guy. They're looking at a black screen because it's not
Oh,
picking up
okay.
League. It picks up the client, it picks up loading screen, but won't pick up the actual in-game, which is very interesting. I've never encountered this before. So I guess it's good that we have a showcase match round 1 to iron these things out for round 2.
True.
Yeah, I'm not sure what could be causing
keep everyone that's watching up to date. There's not too much happening. Everyone's farming at this stage. A lot of poke coming through. The TF W's and Q's are coming out, but not much happening at this stage. Sleep's coming out from both directions from all the Zoes. The Ornn is getting chunked a little bit, but I think the falling tiers are actually going to step up. Oh, Leeson got caught with the center W, but he's jumped out. It's all going down. I wish you guys could see this.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's
Oh no, Leeson's just W to his teammate with the center W and snared his team. I think they've all made it out. A few flashes blown. There's only 2 flashes left on the side of falling tiers.
Why do you not want to capture the game? Why are you allergic to the game?
Yeah, Jameer, it is blind pick. We are just trying to fix that now. Just bear with us, my friends. Just a bit of technical difficulties at this stage.
It's not that it's not loaded, it's that it absolutely refuses to load and won't load. So not exactly sure at all what the issue is, because the settings are all identical to every other stream I've ever done. It just absolutely hates this game and doesn't want to do
Maybe
it.
try reconnect.
Reconnect, what do you mean? Oh, to the game?
Yeah, like Alt F4 and reconnect.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see if that fixes it. Because it streamed the loading screen without any issues, but all of a sudden, as soon as it came to
the actual game,
it's
just weird. It's the same client, so I don't know why it's not picking that up.
It froze as it went into the actual game, which is interesting.
Right. Well, it's still stale in the game.
Yeah.
Everyone's got identical goals.
So
at
weird.
This point.
All right. Well, I reconnected and now it is working, folks. So we can check out the beautiful game in all its glory. I'll make sure
you haven't missed much. So it's been very stale. There's been a lot of flashes come out from blue side, from falling tiers. It's been named. Corona Spaceship looking pretty good. They've got all their summoners on. Haven't blown too much yet. They're just poking these guys down. But it's been pretty stale as far as ARAMs go. Everyone's hitting 6, so if it's going to happen, it's happening now. The Ornn horn is coming out.
Oh, here comes the Ornn horn, though. It's going to land its way onto 2. Zoe does drop very low, and that's going to be first blood over to Ornn. Looks like the Ezreal is going to get beautifully triple knocked up by the Ornn. Quopro here being player of the match, as he is just absolutely setting up his team for success. Pandemonium goes forward, sneaking another kill onto Phoenix Tears TF. And looks like that's going to be the first fight over to the side of Corona Spaceship. They're showing themselves here today that they are indeed the coordinated team. They are the team with practice behind their backs, and they're going to be able to get this done.
Absolutely huge from Corona Spaceship, getting that lead. It was very stale until then. They just waited perfectly in time for all their ultis and just let it all rip at once. Love to see it. Love a bit of ARAM shenanigans.
Absolutely.
Can't even keep up with what's going on right now. Alright, so they've managed to take a pick from Corona Spaceship. The Ornn has gone down. He has been tanking everything in this game as the only front line on Corona Spaceship's side. They're going to step back, pick up this little heal pack, get the team a little bit more health back. League flashing forward with the ulti on the Q, on that Zoe. Oh, the Ezreal out coming, just a bit
Ezreal going a little bit wide there, yeah. What do we think about the builds going on here? Senna does look to be building towards that Kraken Slayer, but hold on, Chris Strider is going in fairly hard. He's going to get nearly traded back, but they are able to find themselves another pick as well onto the Senna before Senna's able to finish that one off. Does look like
in an ARAM, we actually call those ones good deaths. So because they got that first fight, they didn't have too much gold at that stage. Most of them are just on their first and second deaths. Jin still actually hasn't died, so these guys do want to get back and spend some gold. Oh, the Lee Sin Q did hit. He did channel it, but W to a minion to cancel. On fleek, sending through the Zoe sleep through the wall. Makes it so far on the ARAM map. He's just been absolutely.
Ooh, Phoenix Tear is going to get absolutely blown up. Oh my goodness. Quopro here looking to get another Horn. Does find itself onto the two tankier members of the team by the looks of things. Gator going forward with the snowball, maybe biting off a little bit more than he could chew. Now Hunt with the Jin ultimate is looking to finish off Eidos here and Chris Strider. They are very low. The force shot not quite connecting onto Chris Strider to finish him off there. They are going to fall back, grab themselves the heal, wave clear it out. Did notice that both teams do have a Zoe here in this match.
Yeah, just a bit of a blind pick special you get there. The Zoe versus Zoe matchup.
Put the Zoes on the scoreboard so they're next to each other for you all, so you can compare the Zoe versus Zoe gameplay. Tekna is very, very low. Pretty much anything will kill him at this point. That's to be quite safe. Oh my goodness. Steven's going in, finds himself a kill onto the Ezreal. He's going to get traded back, but Chris Strider trying to bite off again a little bit more than he can chew. Not quite able to finish off on fleek there. But here comes Twisted Fate.
He's going to
hit two members of the enemy team and finish them both off, or at least enable Lee Sin to finish them off. And now he's running for his life against two members of the enemy team. Almost finishes off Pandemonium on the center. He is almost going to die to the minions. Oh, but the Q heal comes through just in time, and they're going to stay alive. Hunt and Pandemonium being the only two survivors of that team fight, and they're going to be able to push in, start pressuring up this tier 2 tower, and really look to open up the enemy's base. Oh, but Tekna going for a little bit of a flash play here. The exhaust does get dropped onto Hunt, misses the paddle star. And they're just going to find a nice little kill on Hunt there. Really good decision to flash forward, grabbing the exhaust onto the... Yeah, they are looking to snowball here on the center, actually.
Damn. Tekna going down. He's getting caught out again from that Zoe ult. Lissandra is absolutely capitalizing on those Zoe ults in. Catching him very nicely. It's a great pick against the Zoe. Good to know.
Phoenix here, walking up with that pulse fire.
Got the yellow card.
Fate. Does get hit by the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, forced to flash away. Thevens with a beautiful Lissandra ultimate right in the middle of things. Does look like Lee Sin is going to go down here as well. Eidos finding himself taken down by Quopro. Quopro just too tanky right now for the enemy team to deal with. Almost dies, but he's going to barely live there. Now Ezreal getting tagged up by another Sleepy Trouble Bubble. No follow-up off it, though. They are just going to back off. They do have the Shirelias sitting on fleek. Potentially could do a little bit of a Shirelia's shenanigans to engage or disengage. We'll see how that ends up working out. On fleek does get tagged by his own Sleepy Trouble Bubble, though. Or by the enemy's Sleepy Trouble Bubble, I should say. And they are going to take out both players, both the Ornn that got away on low health and the Zoe, and now Hunt Pandemonium. Joined by Thevens to defend this tier 1. Waiting for their allies to respawn here, finding themselves in a 3v5 situation. Tekna is going to get hit up by a lot of damage. Lissandra goes forward, absolutely finishes off the job, but is going to get CC'd and trade up 1-for-1. They do find themselves a kill onto Pandemonium as well, though, to kind of even things up. So they are going to trade 2-for-1. Still a 4v1 scenario now with Hunt about to be joined by a couple of his allies, finding themselves in a 3v4. Are they going to look to pull the trigger and maybe get a bit of an engage here? Does not look to be the case. Just going to sit back and grab those nice bits of poke with the paddle star from on fleek. They do have definitely the range advantage playing this kind of Jin Zoe composition with Senna as well. Definitely able to take their time, sitting back, scaling up as well. Honestly, considering it's blind pick, I'm very surprised how, like, non-sweaty some of these picks are.
Yeah, I mean, we got the center, which is pretty sweaty, but otherwise, it's, yeah, looking pretty balanced. Everyone maybe just locking in personal faves or good ARAM champs. ARAM meta is always different, you know. It always comes down to, like, who can poke better, who can collapse better, who can peel better. Just because the map is so small, it's just, you know, one lane, everyone, you know, it's a little bit of a different meta from typical league.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I like the
summoner's
sweaty
range.
comps in ARAMs are usually full of tanks and like enchanter supports, and you just kind of make like tanks that can't be killed in team fights, and they just roll over people like from very early
that's
points
right.
of the game. But yeah, none of that here. Definitely not. Tanks in this game, like, I think having like one tank on your team, like Ornn, is fine. Having 2 tanks on your team is like
You really
whatever, but
cut
like
down the damage there.
if you've got like 3 with like 2 enchanter supports backing them up, like a Karma or like a Senna.
The Ornn coming out.
Ornn
David Moore
definitely is
getting
coming out.
absolutely caught out there, unfortunately. Didn't have enough health. Really needed it back there, but obviously
Oh
it's
my
really
goodness,
can't
FIFA's
miss.
getting absolutely blown up there by Tekna's paddle star and finished off by the
Blasting
true
into
shot
the Ezreal
barrage.
ult.
Quopro now is going into the middle of things, misses the knockup on 3 members of the enemy team. On Fleet going to find himself a kill onto the Lee Sin, but is going to go down to the Crocodile of Doom. Gator now running for his life as Hunt is popping out the DPS,
Hunt
lands the root up on
is
Chris
doing
Strider.
it. It's
He's
the
going to go down,
re-engage.
almost survives due to the heal. Is he going to turn this one around? Nearly does, but Hunt is going to find himself going down to Phoenix tier, teleporting
tier
in
ulted in
with
at
the
perfect
Destiny,
last second
but now
to
he is
catch
going to
Hunt.
get taken down. Quopro finishing off the kill, and this Ornn is just a tanky boy, and Pandemonium showing himself that, you know, he might be playing top lane for his team this season by the looks of things, but, you know, normally he's an ADC player. He has been an ADC player in the NTEL for multiple seasons,
Oh, true.
and he's kind of showing why in this game. You know, he knows how to play that role. He's positioning well.
Yeah, great game from these guys so far. And it doesn't help. The center is just disgusting with that Divine Thunder at the moment. He has gone the Kraken Slayer. I've just pulled it up, but
Yeah,
still,
he is going the
track
Track and Slayer Gwynzu's build. Both are a little viable. Usually, if you're playing the support role, it's a little bit better to go for the Divine Thunder build, just because, you know, if you're not CSing, it's a little bit harder to buy the more expensive items in the Kraken Slayer Gwynzu's build.
Right.
And when you're not CSing, you also get more souls, so you aren't getting kind of AD passively without needing items, and that's when going for the more kind of bruiser Divine Thunder build can definitely be a lot better. Unfortunate Sleepy Trouble Bubble there landing its way onto Quopro, stopping himself from getting the Ornn Horn off in time.
Unfortunate there. It could have been a huge difference in the fight. Yeah. We are about, I think the fight is about to break up. Definitely once Quopro gets his odds back up. Oh, he's just going to int in here. The important thing to note in this ARAM is that Corona Spaceship are on 22 kills, which means they have had less deaths, which means they do have the lesser items right now. So I'm expecting Falling Tier, as they've been named, the blue side, to probably clean up here, kill everyone, but once that happens, I think Corona Spaceship should probably finish out.
Oh,
this
but
match.
look at this. Lee Sin going in way too deep, and he's just going to get taken out. Pandemonium snagging that one up.
Bit of an unfortunate one from Ados there. Let's see what Gator can get sorted here. This is a plat player, ADC Mayne. Does love to watch his Eastern scene, loves to watch a bit of LPL, LCK. He's pretty up to date with common meta.
I mean, yeah, he is
What?
picking the Ezreal, which, I mean, Ezreal has not been a good champion for definitely quite a while. He's been underperforming for most of this season, I would say, after the item rework took away, obviously, his very beloved Manamune Frostfire build from
Yeah,
being
until
possible.
just recently, in the last patch when Sundra
Yeah.
was buffed, Ezreal's just become
Sundra got
absolutely
buffed,
obnoxious.
Ezreal got buffed in the one patch, and it kind of put him over the edge and
Yeah,
made this kind of new
anytime
Divine
on hit
Sundra build
becomes meta,
definitely
yeah,
very
Ezreal
favorable.
just
But as we
gets
hype him up like that, he's going to get taken down. Beautiful kick by Ados, but unfortunately they are going to have the summoner spells available to get themselves out of that one in time. And now Hunt looking to find himself in a position to lifesteal up a little bit and do the massive damage to this tower that Jin is able to do with those fourth shots.
Oh, Chris Strider flashing
Chris
in,
Strider
not
going
catching
forward,
Hunt,
but unfortunately,
Pandemonium is going
very
down for
fast
it.
fingers from Hunt, able to flash out just in time, denying him the kill. But here we go.
Ooh,
Looks like the
TFO.
Twisted Fate. He's going to go in with the Destiny,
Let's
snag
go,
up one
David
kill,
Moore.
not able to snag up two, unfortunately, as the Lissandra CC is proving a little bit too much for him. Now,
Chris
Quopro.
Strider actually saving Quopro out of the bubble sleep there. Unfortunate for Tekna. I think he was just trying to get his own stun happening there, but Quopro hit the W, so he still gets a bit of movement forward because he becomes unstoppable during that ability. But here we go, he's dashing in, on fleek has been blown up. Zoe kills the Zoe.
Yeah, I mean, Quopro and Phoenix here,
the ult just in time.
they just don't really have the damage to defend this by themselves, but we'll see what they are able to do. Gator does go in with the snowball, trying to flash away. Arcane Shift as well, but it's not going to be enough. He is going to go down. Quopro is going to trade with it, though. And now Chris Strider making his way out thanks to the big shield you get from Starix Gage. Very good item in these ARAM environments where you're able to proc it on multiple people consistently in team fights.
Yeah, good.
Techna's going to get rooted up. He might explode, and he is going to do just that as Hunt takes him down. They're going to find a kill onto Pandemonium in the back in the meantime, but these are some fairly low players here.
It's looking so huge right now.
So Django, if we know one thing, it's that Jin loves to play against people that are on a little bit low HP.
Absolutely. It's just going to shred them with that 4th shot. Absolute one-shot. I'm expecting to see that pretty soon, actually. Now that he has picked up the Collector, shooter one-shot Phoenix to this game. I'm waiting for it. It's going to happen. But like I've predicted just before, so now that most of Corona Spaceship has died, they've gotten to go back and spend so much of that gold. They do have big item diff right now, so I'm expecting to see the game-defining team fight happen really shortly here. Also good to note that the Ornn has hit level 15, so he's got a couple of his allies' items upgraded too, but he has just walked in and just seemingly entered, unfortunately. Not too sure what the plan was there. Was trying to look for an engage, but the falling tears are catching them back now. This Lee Sin absolutely decimating the backline. Chris Strider's now dashing in. He's catching the squishies.
Oh, we talked about that Ezreal damage. Goodness me. Gator just absolutely exploding.
Really scaling
the enemy team there. Yeah, Gator is really scaling up. He's starting to really hit numbers on that Ezreal now.
Pandemonium dodging the Techna sleep. Here he goes. Oh, you might heal Techna with this one. Oh, I needed to get the one shot there. Oh, there it is. Just in time.
Are able to finish off Pandemonium there, grab themselves this tier 1 tower. Now Gator, I gotta say, you know, now that he does have this kind of Cyrilda's grudge to get through all the armor that is being built by this Ornn, some of the front line that was standing in his way previously, you know, I mean, it's not a lot of damage, but he's getting there, right? Like, he's actually able to kill Quopro, and you can only imagine how little damage he must have been able to do before he got that Cyrilda's grudge. Absolutely would have been nothing.
We're getting to that point where Ezreal is scaling, but I think it's going to come down to who's stronger at what
Sleepy
point.
Trouble Bubble on the Ezreal, actually. He is going to get hit up by the Gornhorn. Gator dropping very low. Might get finished off by Quopro here. He is indeed. And now, looks like the blue team are going to be in full retreat. You're going to get snagged up. Phoenix here going down to the Lysandra ultimate. And now Ados is looking to be next in line. Does get rooted up by the Jin. Quopro getting dangerously close. Dashes in, dropping him low. The health pack buying a little bit of time, and it looks like it's going to be enough. No, it's not. Jin flashing forward with the 4th shot to finish him off, but it's not going to be. No, he is actually going to be able to get out to safety. Chris Strider not having the damage, and here we go. Curtain call by Jin. Popped, looking for Chris Strider. Misses 2, misses 3. Can he land the 4th? Not quite. Is going to, unfortunately, miss that 4th shot there. The 3rd shot was the 4th shot. I can't even count to 4. Goodness me. And now they are going to be able to snag up this mid-tier tower, looking for the inhibitor. Chris Strider is now getting engaged on by Quopro under tower. Lives to see another day thanks to a beautiful bit of healing from both his Q and Gore Drinker. Phoenix here walking up a little bit too far and literally evaporates. Can we get a replay on that one, folks? Can we get a bit of a replay on that? Going back here. Look at this man. Look at him walk up, minding his own business, gets hit, bang, goodbye, good sir. He absolutely evaporates. The missing pings are cold.
Even if he lives there, he's just gonna flash and snare his whole team. Should have been disastrous.
Alright, catching back up to the present day now. Looks like both teams are just chilling, doing a little bit of kind of waiting it out for the most part.
Hey, they're gonna try heal up with that Divine Thunder, right? Does that heal off minions? I don't think it does, actually. Nah, so that's just base lifesteal there. Okay, interesting. Good to know. I don't think it's going to quite make it. They're waiting for Lysandra to come back. I think they're going to wait for something cheeky happening in this drive. I think it was altered the wave to try and thin it, but just been tanked by the super minion. I think this next fight is going to decide the game here. Comes the Ornhorn. Size before the storm. Nothing quite happening. Didn't quite catch anyone here. Corona Spaceship are just sitting back. They do have those big carries Jin in the center right now. They're not doing a whole lot. Hunt, oh, sidestepping, but he's just been caught out by the Ezreal. They've missed all their abilities.
Ooh, flashing forward there. Phoenix
flashing
does
forward,
land a
yellow
good
card.
stun onto On Fleek. He is going to go down, and now Ados looking to find Thevens here. Thevens trying to get out in time with that E, but unfortunately is not going to get out in time. Quopro now flashing for his life, but unfortunately is also going to be for naught as he's going to find himself going down. And now blue team finding themselves in a beautiful position here. 5 members alive, engaging down onto this mid-tier 2 tower. Probably going to snag it up, maybe even snag up the inhibitor and really even up this game.
Yeah, some huge death timers here. I think we're getting Hunt back in right now, actually. Chris Strider's going to tank this for as long as he can. I think he's going to take the suicide, actually. Oh, he's been caught by the Jin. How has that happened? It's outrageous. He must have stepped over a trap at some point, and unfortunately didn't get the suicide that he was looking for. He's still going to go back and be able to get that buy. But now I'm really looking for Corona Spaceship to pop here. They got 1 ace. They should all be super fed right now. I'm seeing about 4 items per teammate here compared to falling tiers 3. It should be it.
Oh, but here we go. There's the Ornhorn.
Oh, he's been slapped again for the
He got
Ornhorn.
slept on the Ornhorn once again, and that's going to be a no-go.
How long's the cooldown there? It's only a minute. Just give us 1 more minute, folks. We'll see if Quopro can hit this game-defining ultimate here.
A little bit of Grievous Wounds purchased on the Ezreal now as well, but I mean, only having it on Ezreal might not be enough to deal with, you know, the bloodthirsted Jin that they have that is just running around healing so much, doing so much damage. This bloodthirster shield is absolutely huge at this point of the game, and he's doing so much damage, 1200 damage onto that big minion there with the 4th shot. And as we know, you know, inhib minions do have a lot of armor, so that's definitely some impressive damage, but it doesn't even matter, as he's actually just going to get ADC in 2021 and exploded by Ados. Lissandra going in, trying to get a little bit of damage, but unfortunately isn't going to find anything. Chris Strider going forward, respecting the Crocodile. They are just going to disengage. Ooh, he's going to go forward, looking to grab a stun onto Quopro. Quopro's going to go down, actually. Dragon's Rage getting used to finish him off there. Gator now looking to land 1 more Q into Pandemonium. It is going to get body blocked by On Fleek, and he's going to live to see another day. And now Tekna trying to really fish with these sleepy trouble bubbles. Oh, there we go. Arcane Barrage not quite going to find its way. Or True Shot Barrage, rather. Arcane Barrage is Kog'Maw's ultimate.
Quopro is up in 20 seconds. If the falling tiers want to get anything happening,
Chris Strider is going to get snapped by the tribute. Jin going down.
Absolutely caught.
Oh, but here we go. There's another sleepy trouble bubble.
They
trade 1-for-1. Look at that. Oh my goodness. And now On Fleek and Thevens are left to defend the tower.
3v3 on the way. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen now.
Does have that Ornhorn available. We'll see what happens. Is he going to pull the trigger?
I think he's going to pull
he's looking for
snowball first. Oh, he's just gone wide with the E. He's looking for a knockout.
He's taking a lot of damage here. He has to pop the ultimate, and he is going to pop the ultimate indeed. Ados looking to get tagged up by it here. Lots of damage from that Ornn, but he is getting shredded down. And almost dies, but he is able to just stay alive. He does have that Warmogs as well, so he's going to be healing up in just a little while. We'll see that health on Ornn start ticking up. There it is. And now Gator looking to finish him off with that True Shot Barrage, but it is just going to be too little too late as he has pulled up. Oh my goodness, the 4th shot damage. Goodbye. He is going to get absolutely exploded. Deleted, some could say.
Good night, Gator. See you later, mate. I think games are being played, unfortunately, Gator. Let's see how this goes. The sleep's coming onto the Ornn. It's down now. He doesn't quite have his ulti up. If Evans is just coming up, I think Corona Spaceship just need to stop for a minute, stop this hard siege, wait for Fevens to come, and we're going to get probably our final 5v5 here. Both inhibs are down, everyone's at each other's base. Super minions are now coming in for both teams. We've really gone back to a stale point. So this is the point where Ezreal's kind of hit his peak. He's level 18, he's got his items, he's doing a lot of damage. We kind of just need
Yeah, he's even picked up the Blade of the Ruin King here.
here
He's
now.
really just trying to optimize for doing that health shred damage onto the Ornn, which, you know, I'm happy to see.
Strat. It's worked for them so far. As soon as that Ornn's gone down,
here we go, Ornn Horn. Yeah, he's going to pull the trigger. It's going to find its way into Chris Strider. Phoenix Tier getting blown up before he can get absolutely anything done. Here goes Ados going in, looking to grab the insect. Does kick Ornn back to the back line. No, he kicked the right way, but Quopro flashed in at an absolutely beautiful time there and was able to not get kicked into the middle of the enemy team. Tekken now dropping very low, does pop the Zhonya's to keep himself alive, but On Fleek and Quopro going forward to finish him off, and he is going to go down to Quopro. However, On Fleek going to find himself getting taken down as well in the process, and they are going to wipe it up. 4 members alive for the enemy team, and it looks like Corona Spaceship are going to be able to finish this one out right here, right now.
2 wins for the Corona Spaceship today. They won a game from an FF and they clutched this ARAM right at the end. They were looking so good. And
they're going to go for the fountain dive on Phoenix here.
Oh, they got him.
They did get him, yes. Oh my goodness. And now they're going to look to try and finish off the Nexus here. Pandemonium frantically getting those right clicks.
Oh, just missed it. The Super Minions have just ended the game right in time. Quite the entertaining exhibition match, if I do say so myself, with 96 deaths that game in 27 minutes. Couldn't have asked for any more, really. I think they went pretty well. I think Corona Spaceship had a pretty good showing. I think you made a really good point there. That Pandemonium is an ADC main. It's been put top lane he's playing top lane on Thursday, but I think he's a really good ADC. Same with Hunt, who I think was playing jungle. When bot lane was maybe one of their weaker lanes. That's what we learned from playing against them, at least. So I think they should consider some role swaps here.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, definitely. Pandemonium, very good ADC player. We can see here, unfortunately, Ezreal doing a fair bit of the damage, but not enough, it would seem, as he is going to get just kind of put to the wayside by the enemy team here. Ornn doing a little bit, comparable damage to the enemy front line on Chris Strider. Chris Strider and Quopro kind of going tit for tat here, but Ornn just has that Ornn Horn, and it is so much easier to engage with it than something like the Renekton. I know LS, typically very big doubter of the Renekton pick, thinks that, he just kind of pigeonholes your team into needing to be one certain type of comp, which is a comp that just kind of like goes in and runs at your enemy. And when you see picks like, Twisted Fate, Zoe, Ezreal, Lee Sin could definitely be played like that, but the other 3 maybe not the best at kind of being compatible with that type of a composition, whereas Ornn, much better at kind of just playing front to back, which his team really loved, and, in the end, they were just able to kind of clutch that one out, and I gotta say, maybe partially due to a bit of the Zoe diff, 4k damage lead on the red team Zoe in that game, as we can see here.
That is huge. It's a big diff. I know that, Gator? Gator? No, it was Tekna playing the Zoe. Tekna is a bit of a Zoe main. I've seen him pick up that champ a bit more these days, but
absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, 51 crowd control score as opposed to only 42, as we can see here. Definitely was landing a few more of those sleepy trouble bubbles in the long run. So I don't think we'll give away any serious MVPs for this round, more than likely.
Yeah, so I've just had a chat with my tournament officers for this one. It looks like, because each team is getting a skin for every game they play, regardless win or loss, because there was an FF today, I think FF next time they play, as well as Corona Spaceship, will be given 2 MVP skins, just to make up for the lack of today. Just because we're not really going to grant anyone MVP in an ARAM. So the next games they play, there will be 2 MVPs given out for those teams. So look forward to that.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we can see some good games.
I think we're just gonna throw it over to none other than our very own tournament TV setup here for everyone to look at, just to kind of keep track of exactly how things are looking for the season. As we can see, Youngbloods 2-0 sitting at the top there. Our very own Django, Jobseekers 1-0, and we do need to edit that one up with Corona Spaceship, finding themselves at a 1-0-1, it would seem.
Yeah, so it's a good start for Corona Spaceship. They did have that loss on Thursday, unfortunately, but I think they show some potential in that ARAM. I know it's like, how you're really going to judge someone on an ARAM, but they have some real carries on that team. I think they just need to find their roles, and they might be able to actually step up into this comp as maybe a top 4 team.
Absolutely. Now, as we do notice here, as you can see, yesterday this screen was absolutely unreadable, and I mentioned it to David. I said, "Hey, David, there was like a League of Legends background on this," and I was like, "I absolutely cannot read a single thing that is on here." And he's like, "No problem, we'll get this one sorted out." And it's changed. It's blue now. You can actually read what's going on. So big props to the team that are kind of organizing the tournament stuff. They're making
it has been amended. Yeah, it was a bit scuffed at just starting. I think once it all fills out, it's all meant to go white. But you're right. This is just the default tournament TV back screen, so it's looking pretty good now. I think it might be best even just to leave it that way.
You can actually read what's going on.
Yeah, and so we can see there now as well that Corona Spaceship do have 1 win, and for fun have been given that forfeit loss. So looking good. I think it's going to be interesting. Unfortunately, the scoreboards are going to be a bit scuffed until about week 6. There's going to be some teams that play more games some weeks. I think it is Astra don't have games this week. Or maybe they have 1. But obviously, Youngbloods and Destiny are playing 2 games this week. And the reason that's happening is so we can get all teams to play each other twice within 12 weeks. So once we've got that happening, after 6 weeks, everyone should have played the same amount of games, and then we'll have a definitive scoreboard to see where everyone's at.
Absolutely. Well, we are about to hop into our next round, which is going to be Team Destiny versus Team Ad Astra. So, I mean, obviously it's not going to be Destiny versus Jewpies Angels rematch, but what are you looking forward to in this game here in particular?
Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm really excited to see where Destiny are at. All right, obviously they have been back-to-back champions. I think they won 2 or 3 seasons in a row, if my memory serves me correctly. But were dethroned last year, so it'll be interesting to see what they've been playing, if they've tried to mix anything up, or if they're just going to come back and troll like they usually do and give us those close games that they always seem to win somehow, really clutching it at the end. It's going to be good to see. Really excited to see Guard, see if he's stepped up. Check out the Edmona. I'm almost certain we're going to see Edmona play center bot. He was one of his favorite champs last season, and she's as broken as ever right now. And obviously see Prodigium, maybe the second best player in the tournament, debatably first, playing just some troll support where he can absolutely carry the game. Really excited for this next game.
Absolutely. Well, we are going to throw it over to that, and we'll catch everyone when we are about to hop into our next game, which is going to start at 4 p.m. So a little bit under 15 minutes away. And we're just going to throw it over to some music, and you guys can, maybe go grab something to eat, grab a drink, and we will see you back here when the games are ready to kick off.
We'll see you then.
And alrighty, folks, welcome back. We are about to kick off our Game 5, supposedly, of Round 1. Now, some of you may have been tuning in over the course of Thursday. Unfortunately, we didn't really get much of a Game 1 to kick off today's stream, our Game 4 in Round 1 between none other than Corona Spaceship and Team FF, as Team FF did indeed live up to their name. But you know, it is what it is. We're just going to be hopping into our next game, which I'm quite excited about. It's going to be kind of defending reigning champs Destiny, except not really, because they were taken down last year by the people that they're versing next time. But Destiny definitely is up there, arguable top 2 team right now, representing the NT. And they're going to be going up against Astra, which is definitely a little bit of a... you know, a little bit of an interesting kind of a team. Definitely a few of them on there.
One of our new teams this season, actually.
More on the new side. They are.
It's going to be interesting to see how these guys play out, actually. I haven't seen too much from them yet. I think we've seen a couple of their players. I know Fire and Soul's played before. I think there might even be a few name changes from some of these guys that have played previously. So it'll be interesting to see how this game folds out and how they stack up to one of the NTEL all-time champs.
Absolutely. Now, we are indeed going to be having a quick look over at our next... Oh, there we go. Look, Tournament TV showing it right there. Our next game that we've got coming up next, which is going to be between Jewpies Angels and Destiny, happening today at 5 p.m. So that is going to be the big one, arguably the biggest game in Round 1. It is going to be extremely close between defending champions Jewpies Angels and kind of... their dark horse team that they set out to beat last season and were able to do it, and that's going to be Team Destiny. So we'll see what they're able to pull out of their hat. Honestly, it's going to be an interesting one. Exciting to see kind of how both teams have evolved, but for the most part, it looks like we are just going to be starting and hopping right on into Champ Select. So without further ado, let's have a quick look at things here. Now, to Django, definitely.
G'day.
How are these teams drafting? I assume you've scrimmed against them in the past as someone who's playing this season.
Obviously, we've played against Destiny before, but we've never haven't scrimmed them this season. Also, haven't scrimmed at Astra, so I'm not too sure what's coming. Just from experience, I'm expecting a troll pick support, maybe not a troll pick, something strong, probably like the set. I would say in the support role, and see Ardmona on the center is something I'm pretty sure we're going to see this match. The Gwen ban is just coming out. I think Destiny are a bit unsure about Ad Astra as well, so they're probably just going to ban unfamiliar champs, broken champs. I'm sure they've done an OPGG check on these guys and are just going to ban out some most played and some unwanted matchups for these guys.
A Prodigium, as we know, a Fiend on that Thresh pick. Definitely want to take him away. Ari getting banned out as well. Now, another thing to notice is we do actually have DST Guard lined up here in the top lane, which is a little bit interesting because he was kind of the nemesis of Bloodexer in the mid lane, kind of the only other diamond mid laner that we had in the tournament that was kind of, you know, staring down Bloodexer as a possible, you know, 2-beat competitor.
Yeah, that's right. So I think the reason that's happened is because Destiny, have actually made a little bit of a role swap, but it's actually a little bit of a throwback. Destiny actually have their OG lineup, if my memory serves me correctly. Their Iron Sigma was their original mid laner that they won the first 2 championships in, if you know my memory serves me correct. So it's good to see them back, good to see the full team happening again, and they've locked in the Tristana first here. Not what I was expecting to see from Ardmona actually, but glad to see it. Tristana is busted right now with Halo Blades, and Ezreal is banned, so they've got the definitely the AD advantage here, and they've locked in the new Dr. Mundo on the other side. This is a pick I'm excited for. If you guys don't know, Mondo's just been reworked. He now ignores the first CC he's hit with and loses like a capsule that pops off his body. He can walk over it to heal, and that's probably the main change. The only other change really was change to his W, which is kind of still zaps everything around him, but now he receives health if the final proc of that zap is on a champion, and his ultimate doesn't cost him health anymore. It will just give him a health, I think it gives him 20% health to start, and then a 50%, like a 150% like health regeneration after that.
This is something that I'm very excited to see. I talked about this a little bit in the past, and that's that, you know, if these supports are going to be like kind of blind picking the support matchup, locking in these heavy CC supports like Leona, and not choosing to ban Morgana, pick Morgana as the counter pick. It completely just shuts down everything that this Leona can do. Leona is just not a champion in this lane if Morgana is going support. And then even if it's a terrible lane for Morgana, or you feel like you don't want to play it, you can flex the Morgana to the jungle and stick it on Asko, and it's just as viable, just as oppressive. So definitely love seeing Morgana picked here into these lineups where Leona is picked. You notice that Olaf is going to get locked in. Now again, that is a fairly bad jungle matchup for Morgana. So in this kind of a situation, you maybe want to look to throw it bot side. I know Prodigium does have proficiency on that pick. Shuts down the Leona.
It's super oppressive against Leona as well.
Yeah,
so,
shuts down the Leona. Isn't very
Destiny.
good into the Olaf, so probably going to be a Morgana support, I would imagine. If they do put it jungle, that'd be definitely a bit of an interesting pick. Round 2 of bans here.
Olaf is just a great pick, just from what they've chosen. They might have drafted that Leona a little bit early, but I think picking that Olaf after they've locked in the Tristana, Morgana, Viego, just cancelling out all of their CC immediately. They're not going to be able to peel this Olaf at this stage, so
they do actually
really good to see. It's a good
ban
drafting on both
out
sides.
the Viego here, which sorry, they do pick the Viego and then they ban out the Nico. So maybe they're anticipating this Viego to not be the mid laner for Iron Sigma, which is a bit interesting considering, you know, Viego often picked as a mid laner, probably his best role.
But that's just one of the best parts about Viego, I suppose. He can just play every role. So
Set getting banned out here, definitely fairly viable. Is a pretty dominant top champion at the moment, I would say. He's definitely like a viable pick up there.
Yeah, absolutely. He doesn't. I think he goes pretty even with Mundo. Honestly, Mundo can peel him with his Q, and you know.
Well, he's a flex champion as well. He's about as good top as he is mid. He's just as good in both roles, more than likely.
Yeah,
so, he is going to get banned out. He's not super strong, but maybe they just do not want to have to deal with him, I suppose, especially when, you know, Set, very hard to do anything about when he is black shielded and running at you. So, who knows? Also, he is very good at just doing a big chunk of damage, setting up those Viego resets, and making team fights absolutely chaos. See what they're able to do.
Real interesting. This has been a great draft so far, actually. I like how both teams have drafted.
Caitlyn getting locked in here. Obviously, Caitlyn, very decent champion at kind of dealing with Morgana, poking her as she walks up, dealing with Tristana as well. Tristana does actually outrange Caitlyn at level 18 due to her passive, but Caitlyn in the laning phase will have a range advantage fairly significantly. So hopefully is going to be making use of that Chen 9000 on the Caitlyn pick here. Going to be trying to look to bully out the Tristana. They do lock in the Syndra, which does confirm Viego is likely going to be going jungle this game. And now it looks like top lane is all that's left for them to lock in.
It's interesting. I think the Olaf does beat the Viego in that jungle matchup, actually.
He does early, but Viego is a kind of bit of a scaling monster. It looks like Gnar is going to be the lock-in. I do like that pick. Gnar, very good at bullying these kind of health-stacking tanks like Mundo due to the percent health damage on his W, but then he also is kind of the frontline threat in team fights that they were missing here in this draft. Really going to be getting onto the back line. Orianna is going to be the final lock-in. Orianna versus Syndra, obviously very classic mid matchup. Skill matchup indeed. Orianna having a little bit more pressure early, but then Syndra can just scale up past that level 6, past that one item spike, and start having immense kill pressure. So really is kind of very, very micro heavy in terms of dodging the Ori Qs, dodging the Syndra Qs. But it's a pleasure to watch. And that Morgana is going to be going bot lane with Viego in the jungle. Now, I'm not too sure.
I love the way both these teams have drafted here.
I definitely do as well.
So much appeal for Astra.
These are like two competitive drafts. These are competitive champions that are good at, like, you know, in these organized games. I think Viego going jungle is a little bit interesting. Definitely, I have not seen that champion perform very well in the jungle at all. His clear speed's fairly low. His dueling potential one-on-one in the jungle between most meta junglers like Olaf is quite low, so he can usually just get ran over. And his ganks are also not the greatest in my opinion, due to the fact that, like, you kind of need to use his E.
Yeah, and then that just reveals that he's there,
it's a bit of a giveaway.
Yeah.
But
if you do it from the brush, it like in the river, it's kind of okay because you're getting that move speed to run straight in, and then you don't know exactly from what angle you're getting ganked out. Obviously, you're just going to run straight to the tower, but you know it does work. You can catch people out with that, but I don't think you're going to catch out the Mundo. You're probably not going to catch out the Leona. If you do, just Eon to her. She's just going to stun you and walk away as well. Oriana might be the best bet, but I imagine she'll probably be playing pretty safe too. So, really interesting draft. I think they're gonna Destiny are definitely looking for like a more of a team fighting engaged style. They're probably gonna try and like one shot this Oriana or Caitlyn and then just peel the rest of the team away. But Ad Astra just have so much appeal this game. It's gonna be really interesting to see how that plays out. Might be time to run through some sponsors before we get into the game. If you want to go through there.
Yeah, we can definitely look through some sponsors if that's looking to be the play. Now, again, our major sponsors for this season are going to be Paul's Iced Coffee, as well as the Northern Territory Government and McDonald's Darwin. As we mentioned before, is a little bit special. Paul's Iced Coffee celebrating their 60th anniversary. The McDonald's Darwin Group are the majority of the Macca's stores in the Darwin and Palmerston area. So, you know, no matter what Macca's store you're going to in the top end here, more than likely they are helping out NTEL this season. And as well as that, obviously, how could we forget the Northern Territory Government or the NT Youth, who are supportive of our engagement with the youth sector. So big shout out to the Northern Territory Government, all that good stuff.
So awesome to finally have them on board. So great to have
our boy Michael Gunner. Good to see.
Looking after the boys. Looking after the NTGE boys.
Yeah, no, we are just going to be waiting to hop into our game here. We can have a look at the tournament standings once again over here. And as you'll notice, kind of both of these teams are sort of, you know, not the highest in terms of games played. I think both of these teams have not gotten to play yet. So it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, Destiny is kind of favored to win this one. If there was NTEL betting, which I don't believe there is officially. Obviously,
maybe on the side.
Obviously, on the side, you know, we don't judge, but you know, you would say that Destiny definitely do have the odds in this game for sure. As you know, they're a very established, dominant team, and you know, obviously the opposing team that they're playing against here is a bit of a wild card. We have absolutely no clue what to expect from them. Their elos not the highest, but I mean, maybe they're just like freaks at playing together. Who knows? So I'm very excited to see how this one's going to turn out. But
I think before the draft, Destiny are definitely the favorites. But after the draft, I'm actually kind of leaning more towards Ad Astra. If they can play this peel comp properly and peel away this Nah and, you know, let this Olaf just run wild in the backline, they actually should be able to win a lot of these team fights, I think. Caitlyn just needs to get ahead in lane, which is going to be a difficult task against Ardmona and Prodigium. And Oriana's just going to be looking for some huge ults, so really excited to see how this one's going to play out. If you're a betting man, you're going to go for Destiny this game?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's just the, like, intelligent pick, right? But, I mean, at the same time, you just don't have, like, any idea.
Yeah, we just don't have information on ADA, right?
Yeah.
I'm a gambler. I like the underdog. I like the good odds. Let's see how this goes out. Are you looking for anything in particular, level 1?
No, nothing in particular level 1 here. I think both these teams are not the best invaders. Leona might, like, maybe go in and get a Zenith Blade on someone. Probably the best shot they have at invading is just landing a Morgana binding on someone, but I mean, we'll see if they decide to do that. And they are walking forward as a 5 in the bot side, so maybe that could be what they're looking to do here.
Yeah, Ad Astra have just gone straight for a 5-point start, which you like to see, or kind of a 4-point start. They've got the ADC together and they've just left the mid lane open. So this way they're just covering all the brushes. There's no way they're getting invaded. They're going to see them walk into any part of the jungle. And I think Destiny kind of realized they don't really have much in return to stop that, except for a Morgana Q. So they've just gone for the 5-point as well. Morgana has just gone and dropped a ward and backed and swapped to her Oracle Lens, to her Red Sweeper. So they're just making sure they're not going to get cheese in that level 1 in the bot lane too. So good to see. They've definitely been practicing. They've got some strategies ready, whether that's just, you know, their solo queue meta or they've scrimmed against Ad Astra. They've been cheesed by that before. We will find out. Both teams starting their junglers on the bot side too. So maybe we'll see that level 3 gank top lane pretty early, maybe 2.5 minutes in. Bot laners might have even stayed around just a bit too long there. They might miss the first creep or two.
I don't know how good Firesoul is as a jungler, but I'll be very interested to see if he is able to play this matchup properly, because if he is a good jungler and he's able to clear properly here, he will absolutely crush when it comes to clear speed.
Yeah, that's true. And he should also be getting some really strong invaders off. I think he just destroys ACST in like every trade, so should be seeing some counter jungling too, hopefully. They did ward the blue side, so maybe they'll see him go in there if he goes early, but I think it'll probably just be a full clear and maybe a gank top from both top laners. Maybe they'll just go for their scuttle and maybe see an early 3v3 in the top side, but otherwise, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he plays that out. I think ACST is one of the better junglers in the tournament too. He's proven that with his, you know, consecutive tournament wins. Super good jungler. So it'll be interesting to see how he stacked up against that. Nah, he's going to pick up that early CS lead in the top lane too, just because he has the ranged matchup. Mundo's just going to get poked down if he tries to farm there, so it'll be interesting to see if he's going to pick enough of these up and survive this lane. He did go for the Doran shield, so he should have a bit of sustain there as well. While Na went for the Doran blade, so maybe he's going to be trying to do some poking and trading. It's like they're invading the red side red buff now. Na is here. Orianna couldn't come, she did not have lane prio. Syndra obviously still trying to shove in the wave there too, so maybe a missed opportunity. I think Na's going to miss some buffs there, but they've gone back in. Orianna's stepping back up. And ACST was looking super low for that fight. Iron Sigma's come in though, and first, oh no, Firesoul's going to go down for first blood. Hand that over to Iron Sigma
as well, and that's going to be a beautiful 2-0 to Destiny. Definitely is how you want to see the favorites start off a tournament. Beautifully done for sure.
I think unfortunately Orianna just was a bit too late to that fight, and by the time Syndra had pushed in her wave, it was just too late. I think they had 3v3. Obviously Mundo couldn't roam down because he was so far behind in that ranged farm lead that he just couldn't sacrifice the farm there. So
yeah, this Leona is just getting absolutely outclassed right now in terms of support. I mean, Prodigium, diamond level, or I mean, used to be diamond level. I'm not sure what he sits at now. I know he was plat for a while, but definitely a diamond level support player. Kind of playing against someone who maybe isn't as good at the role, and you know, support is one of those kind of one of those roles where like definitely where you stand in the lane is like so important. Like just kind of showing presence, showing pressure and threat onto the enemy, like ADC. And we're seeing Leona not really putting any pressure onto Ardmona. Like you see now, like in the bot lane, right, standing behind Chan. You never want to be standing behind your ADC like this. This is really, really bad positioning from the Leona. Whereas Prodigium, always even with his ADC, as you see, walking forward most of the time to pressure the enemy ADC, definitely is just showing a lot more pressure, a lot more presence in this lane. That's definitely something that, you know, just easily, just from the way that they move their champion, you can notice there's a little bit of a skill gap in the role. But I think the ADCs themselves are looking fairly even here. I think Chan and Ardmona both doing fairly well. A little bit of a CS lead onto Ardmona's side, but you could definitely argue that that's just because of the support, as we mentioned. Just getting a little bit more pressure from this Morgana put onto her than Leona is putting onto the Tristana, but at the same time, in this mid lane, Iron Sigma does have that double buffs and is really just looking to abuse that mana regen to constantly throw spells onto Orianna here.
We're going to have to get another back off, but she's, you know, blown her flash and her teleport so early that, it's going to make it tricky for her to get back in this lane. I did just want to mention that because Leona was picked so early in that draft and they did get the Morgana, it's basically, it's pretty impossible for Leona to do anything in this matchup, so I suppose the reason she's probably stepping back is just so if anything happens, worst case scenario, she can just try and peel the Caitlyn the best she can if she gets dove on, but if she steps up, she's going to get poked, and if she engages, nothing's going to happen. She's going to get cancelled by the Morgana spell shield, so just, it's going to be a rough lane for Astra in the bot lane. I think they've just got to farm up and try to go even, but even then, I think this Tristana's eventually just going to outscale. So.
I definitely don't think they can farm up and try to go even. Tristana outscales Caitlyn, and Morgana is just going to be more dominant in team fights against the enemy team's composition. Obviously, the Black Shield very, very strong when stuck onto someone like a Viego, someone like a Gnar, is going to really dominate their ability to get anything done with Shockwave or, you know, any of Leona's spells, really. And so because of that, I think like they really do have to be playing this lane proactively. I don't think Ultimate Feeder is able to be proactive in terms of the 2v2, but I think Caitlyn should have more of an easy time getting lane pressure, getting lane prior than Tristana should in these early points, just really using that Piltover Peacemaker to shove out the wave. But and if she does that, then Leona should be able to easily go and grab a bit of a mid gank here onto, you know, the Syndra that we've seen shoved up all the way to tower for most of the game, but just that hasn't really happened. So I'm not entirely sure exactly what their game plan is, if they are just planning on scaling up and not really doing anything. But
feels like he's a bit behind now after he lost that early lead. Has been a bit quiet since then, so everyone's kind of just gone back to their scaling, but
exactly, because I like Destiny, you know, we've seen Destiny play comps where they need to be on the proactive, and you know, they have been proactive, but, you know, in this situation, they really only need to be playing the scale, and we'll see if they're, you know, doing that here.
So at this stage, what do you think Astra need to do to try and get back in this game?
Well, again, I think bot lane really does need to be trying to like look to get this Leona around the map, getting pressure, getting ganks, because a Leona that's just sitting in lane behind your ADC is like not a champion. It's literally useless. So
it's a 4v5.
I think Leona needs to be like actually getting things done in this game. I think Olaf needs to be putting more pressure on Viego as well, instead of letting him just kind of farm up.
Agreed.
A bit of counter jungling here and there, trying to get his laners ahead.
Where they have these advantages in the lane, they just need to try and collapse on them. You can see top lane trying a little bit of something. The Mundo's getting pretty low. He still has his ultimate and is going to get heaps back from that. I don't think Gnar can burst him down in that time without the ulti on the Mega Gnar, so...
Yeah, absolutely. This Mundo matchup is, again, as I mentioned, it's just one of those matchups where you can't really expect...
Ooh, nice bait mid lane.
DPR is almost getting collapsed on. You can't really expect anything in the way of Mundo being able to win this lane. He is just kind of outclassed in terms of champion pick.
Early game Mundo is especially weak after his win rate. It used to be kind of strong where you could just like abuse his E and his Q level 1 and just like level 2 and just run people down. But the Gnar TP
going in for a bit of a collapse here. Black Shield gets the Gnar onto Ultimate Feeder. He's going to get stunned up, absolutely melted down by the Tristana damage. Gets caught up by a beautiful trap though. DSD Guard is going to trade 1-for-1, and here is Mundo. They're going for Ardmona first. Aceco joining the fight. They find themselves in a 3v2 situation. Forsaken trying to run away. Beautiful binding is going to find its way onto Chan Chan 9000 into the Dark Binding.
Oh. Fired Soul's here. This is where he really needs to get
something
done.
Fired Soul. He's about to go crazy. No, the Blast Cone. So unfortunate. Oh, here we go. Is Fired Soul able to finish off Ardmona here? One more axe might do it. No, two more axes are needed. Aceco in a 1v1 between Easy Doctor. He is going to find himself a flash to dodge the Shockwave into Iron Sigma, finishing off the kill. Tristana was able to get out to safety. Oh my goodness. And now looks like Fired Soul is finding himself going after Aceco. Is probably going to be able to finish this one off. One more axe should do the trick. And he's going to miss. He's invisible, and he's going to get stunned up, and he's going to get out. This is such a disaster for Destiny. They weren't able to finish off the Tristana. They weren't able to finish off the Viego. They only find themselves the single kill onto DST Guard under the tower. That is so
he just stood on a trap. I think he took maybe 3 or 4 tower shots in Mega Gnar.
Definitely. He stood on a trap trying to run away.
This early in the game. Oh, there was so much to unpack there. So there was the Blast Cone, I think, from Ardmona, who might have had W up, but just... Oh no, sorry. Ardmona was on the other side. Okay, and we've got a nice pause, so... Looks like we've got some internet issues. They're just going to restart the router. It's going to give us a perfect amount of time to try and unpack what just happened. Might even be worth going back, seeing what happened there. Alright, so we went over...
Yeah, sure, we can go back and have a look at that one more time.
Yeah, so if you want to just jump to, I think about 9:30, 9:25, we see Destiny just survived, and they've all gone over, and Aceco has taken the plan over. Fired Soul, I think, got stunned by Asuko before he went over and couldn't go in. Might have popped the ulti a bit too late and just missed the Tristana there. And because of that, SDR just got blown up by the Iron Sigma, who rotated and destroyed him with the Ez ult. And then as they looked like they had Asuko finally, they hit him with the first Q, but because Asuko went wide in the invis, Fired Soul just missed his Q, unfortunately, with the prediction. Really unfortunate. It looks like they were going to turn that around so well, but just couldn't collapse. I think just a bit of maybe experience diff on the Olaf there might have actually won them that team fight. They picked up the Ocean Drake for it as well. Just a great start for Destiny. Exactly what we want to see from those guys.
Absolutely. Well, I mean,
just wait this pause out.
Currently, we do have a little bit of a match in progress. Just waiting this one out. So, based on how the first 10 minutes of this game have gone, Django, what do you think are your kind of predictions for how the rest of it's going to pan out?
Yeah, from what I can see, I think as you might have predicted at the start of the game, I think Destiny might just have an experienced diff here. You know, they've played in these tournaments, they're a bit of a higher elo, they're established, we know what they're about. They're almost pretty flawlessly at this point. Except for that Nah stepping on that trap, which could have been like unavoidable for getting that kill. There was an excellent gank. As soon as he got the Mega Nah, he TP'd bot and just... I think they really snuck out with the game from that fight. It should have gone poorly for them, but they just managed to pull it out when they really needed it and got away safely. I think Destiny are looking really good going forward. They just need to snowball this lead on this Syndra so she can, you know, one-shot those carries late game. And after that, I just don't think Ad Astra are going to have enough damage.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts? What are you thinking so far?
Well, I mean, I'm definitely looking on, you know, the side of kind of, again, Destiny's scaling factor. Viego absolutely scaling into the moon, and, you know, Syndra, Orianna, both scaling champions. Tristana definitely outscaling Caitlyn, and Morgana is just going to be able to have a much easier time in these mid to late game fights than, say, a Leona would. And Nah is just such a threat over this Mundo. 90 CS to 59 minutes at 10 minutes. But we are officially back into game, which is always lovely to see. So we're going to hop right back into things on that. See how things are going. Does look like we have Orianna in the top side here, matching Nah, giving Mundo a little bit of breathing room, potentially, to not have to deal with that. I definitely don't think this is the correct decision, but it could be fine, actually, considering that Dragon is no longer on the map for them to need to worry about contesting with the Orianna there and the TP not available on Mundo anyway. So maybe they're just kind of like really using it to try and just give themselves the more favorable matchups. But I mean, I think Mundo does get bullied by Syndra like just as much as he gets bullied by Nah, so I'm not really sure why that would make much sense in terms of making it easier for him.
Well, I think in terms of the all-in, Mundo might actually have the advantage. With his ulti, he might actually just not get bursted down, and if he just hits consecutive Qs, could run Syndra down. She obviously can't CC him with the new passive that he's got, so could work out favorably, but it looks like they are setting up there for the Herald now. Tristana's wailing on the tower bot, but we can see everyone's kind of converging up towards the Herald. Leona and Orianna are moving up there now. Prodigium's a bit behind, as Fired Soul is.
Again, we can really just look at that kind of like sub-diff that I talked about here. I mean, Prodigium is going down here, so that might be a little bit counterintuitive to what I'm trying to say, but is going to get killed.
Got caught out.
The Ragnarok there was able to really just let him run him down there. We were saying that obviously Olaf, very good champion at dealing with Morgana's kit. Not much that Prodigium could do there once he did get pincered between the two enemy players, but what the point that I was going to bring up is that currently 12 vision score to only 5. So in terms of just being a support player, Prodigium is showing himself to be much more capable in this bot matchup. And
yeah,
you know,
undoubtedly he's the best support in the tournament.
20 CS on the Ardmona here in terms of leads plus a kill. Sizable lead on CS in the mid lane as well. Viego, the only matchup that's a little bit behind, but again, Olaf is a much stronger early game champ, and he did itemize first item Tab Eyes for the Viego in the 1v1, so Could
Actually
definitely
just need to see that
uh,
fight happen to get any value out of that. Which maybe he's been expecting the Viego to invade him, because I haven't seen him go into Viego's jungle just yet.
yeah, very strange if you would think that. But
If
yeah,
he
knowing
was,
the top side, obviously
if he was
top
not
side
looking
would
for that fight, he
like,
wouldn't have gone Tabais, right?
look at this matchup. There's nothing that Mundo can do. He's just getting absolutely bullied by DST Guard on this Gnar. Like, if you're going to pick a tank, you need to make sure that, like, you either have an answer for something like Gnar, or, you know, you are really picking, like, a tank that can make work in team fights.
And that's just the power of a Gnar as well, though. Like, he's one of the safer picks. If, you know, probably 90% of top laners are melee champs, and they get, you know, decimated by ranged champs. So Gnar is always a safe pick in that sense, because there's maybe 2 champions that he loses to in the top lane. Mundo definitely isn't one of them, where he can just wail on him for free. And if Mundo even like tries to step up or hits a couple consecutive Qs, Gnar can just E through the wave and escape.
Gnar does a pretty poor job against more mobile top laners that are able to really get on top of him and kind of
CC him and
abuse
lock him
his
down.
like long hop cooldown, because hop actually has quite a long cooldown. It's like 25 seconds or something at rank 1.
Yeah,
no,
sorry,
it's over
guys.
20 seconds. It's very long, rank 1.
Yeah,
but here we go. Ultimate Feeder looking to go in. Does get Black Shielded and going to get locked up by 3 people. Flashes away. Might even get finished off here. He is indeed. And they are just going to use the resets on Admona to get in and get out. And we were talking about that. Leona is just such a kind of a non-factor when you are laning against Morgana here. If you're looking to blind pick the support Leona, you need to make sure that Morgana is banned. You just need to ban Morgana. There's no way that you're allowed to pick that champion with Morgana open and not expect to just get completely hard punished by it.
Yeah, you need to wait until after, you know, the first bans or after second bans to pick her. Like, she either gets banned in the first 3 bans, or you wait till the second half of the draft and ban her then and pick her after
either that, or you do pick like a fairly like a bot lane champ, like an ADC that can really kind of abuse her early, that's very physical damage heavy. But you know, Caitlyn normally is one of those champions, but I think Chan just maybe not able to really capitalize. I mean, Prodigium obviously just a very good player, so I'm not too sure how like this bot lane could have been drafted better. I just think the time and the spot that they picked Leo in was just really poor, allowed them to get such a free counter pick. They are going to catch Ori here, and she's going to go down.
Isugo just perfectly jumping, Admona jumping over that wall after Prodigium hit the perfect binding there. Just exactly what you want to see from that roaming support.
Bit of an interesting TP by Mundo there.
Yeah, interesting to see that. Just trying to stop any push there, but because that's down, they're all kind of heading towards the dragon. I think Gnar's got his TP up, so he's going to take this tower, and if anything happens, he's going to TP bot. Getting out-rotated at the moment by Destiny. There it is. He's got another wave coming, but he's just backing down. He can't see. He's lost a few people on the map, so he's just going to step away. They just get the dragon for free. They've just put more pressure on top. Gnar has his TP when he backs here. They can try and make something happen if Iron Sigma finds a pick, perhaps. They've got that ward there, so looking for something to break out here. Looks like Destiny is slowly converging into that mid lane.
Ooh, could be maybe baiting Admona here. Ultimate Feeder looking to go in. Doesn't quite land the Zenith Blade.
He's going
to live to see another day.
Safety. Just get a tiny bit of poke. Get those damage stats up. And it's really slowing down now. It looks like we're getting those big fights around the objectives, around the towers and around the dragons. But other than that, it looks like both teams are actually playing it reasonably safe. It looks like Ad Astra are kind of scared to pull the trigger. Probably as they should be at this point. As they're just going to now push in the mid lane with this Tristana, who's going to take it incredibly fast.
Forsaken is going to get hit up with that binding. Does pop the ultimate. Fired Soul now in the middle of things. Looks like a 2-man Morgana ultimate. Ultimate Feeder going to be the only one to get caught up by it. Big 2-man Gnar finds itself onto Orianna and the enemy Olaf. And now Ragnarok unstoppable. Trying to run for his life, but it's not going to be enough as DST Guard going to land a beautiful snipe there to finish things off. That Gnar was absolutely massive, turning what was a bit of a 1-person, 2-person pick into a complete team-wide shutdown.
Exactly right.
and now
It
Caitlyn
looks
is
like
the
he
only
was going a
person
bit
left
deep there. I was
alive.
a little bit concerned about how far he had gone because he had like jumped over the Mundo or the Olaf or something, but they just perfectly caught the Orianna who was just rotating back around and just demolished her, stops any hopes of saving that tower. So really good play from Destiny. That could, if the other ones haven't, I think that one there could have been the game-defining fight just there. They do have roughly a 9.3k gold lead here, so I don't know. It's gonna be hard for Astra to get back in this. I think they really just need to. I think this Olaf is gonna fall off. I think this Leona doesn't have much to contribute now at this point. They just have to try and let Ori and Caitlyn farm and hope Mundo can peel them off in time. They're gonna drop the Herald.
Yeah, definitely. But like with a
0-4
to 4-0 on the Syndra Orianna matchup, it's really not looking too great in terms of Orianna's ability to do much here. And we're going to see DST Guard basically one-shot her. That is going to be a absolute one-shot from DST Guard. Orianna face-checking a brush this late into the game, and that's going to be a 0-5 onto that Orianna, and very unfortunately so, but definitely just super behind. Now Guard extremely ahead. Mundo is just absolutely unable to do anything to match this Nara in the side lane now. He is just way too squishy in comparison.
We said they had a strong peel comp, right? But obviously when Nara is this fed and has Stride Breaker, he can just run into any backline he wants and do exactly what he needs to do. Admona's actually going to take down this Olaf here.
Oh my goodness.
And Tristana lived.
Tristana literally like 1 health there, nearly gets taken out, but is going to get the kill.
Yeah, I think Pretty Jim came a bit clutch there and blocked the Caitlyn ulti.
I gotta say, oh my goodness, that is going to be another kill. Goodbye, the ultimate feeder. She's definitely going down.
She's jumping forward. She's been hit by the Orianna ult. This is
Shockwave under tower is taking tower aggro, taking a little bit of damage. Does get taken out by the Orianna. Now Aceco in the backline is also going to get taken out by the Orianna. Double kill. What is this? And now Easy Doctor is finding himself to be in a little bit of a position of being a tad bit fed.
Oh, no.
Oh, but as I say that, Iron Sigma is showing him that he is indeed not the mid laner that is taking over this game. Beautifully done.
So I think we just saw a bit of a miscommunication there. Oh, and he's just going to flash the Nart ulti in the top lane there too. I don't think Forsaken can stay.
No,
Yeah,
he's
going to go down here too. Nar's going to get out with his life.
Barely. Barely, yeah.
Very close. Yeah, I think it was a bit of a miscommunication play in bot lane. I think Admona thought he could keep going and maybe thought that Asuko was a bit closer, but he just got caught by the ult, and by that point Asuko was just trying to make something happen and make Admona's death worth, and just got caught out himself.
I gotta say as well, I am super happy to see Prodigium make me proud once again, actually building Moonstone on the Morgana. I have said so many times, Morgana is one of the best appliers of Moonstone of any support in the game. Extremely good champion to build that item on, but I've seen so many Morganas go like Imperial Mandate or like Leandries or something and just be way less useful than if they would just go Moonstone and just stupidly heal their team. Because if you stick W down in a team fight and it is like DOT procking on the enemy team, you will just constantly proc Moonstone over and over again. But yeah, it's really underbuilt. But I'm glad to see Prodigium recognizing that it is very strong, picking that one up.
Yeah, that's right. I think in this case, when, you know, maybe their team isn't so mobile either, yeah, he's just going to be non-stop healing his team. Can I see his level max by any chance? So he has max Q as well.
Yeah, he has
so
max Q.
The W is still going to be not up as long as it needs to fully utilize it, but I think you're right. I think it is super good.
Forsaken is going to go down as well. This is going to be a team wide. They're just way too far ahead in gold right now. If they find themselves in a fight like that where they're not under tower, they're just going to absolutely dominate the enemy team. Aceco does have to be careful here though. Chan-Chan's damage is not 0. Does have to be a little bit careful with how belligerent he is with these dives, but they're going to find Orianna in the mid lane. Look to clear up this tier 3.
Take that tower for free. I think, yeah, they get the inhib pretty easily here. I mean, if they had the minions, it could have been a game end, but I mean, Caitlyn was stuck in that bot lane tower. They could have gone a bit longer, but yeah, unfortunately, these minions just getting there a bit too late for those guys. I think they're going to head towards the red side jungle and probably start setting up some vision around Baron and trying to get that set up. I think at this point, they just win all those objectives pretty convincingly. It's a 11k gold lead at this point. I think this game might be pretty over. But this is exactly what we thought we were going to see from Destiny 2. This is, you know, their typical style. They communicate and play together so well, except for those, you know, 1 or 2 that they give away. It just gives the enemy team just a smidge of a hope, like, it might still be possible if they throw again. But, you know, Destiny can always clean and pack it up when they need to. So I think this game is going to go over to them. Looks like they're going to get this Baron pretty shortly, I think. Everyone is kind of heading towards that direction now. Orianna's stuck in the bot lane. She does have her TP up, but I don't think it's going to make all the difference here.
Definitely both teams are looking to maybe try and go around this Baron now. Destiny trying to steal it away, and then obviously Ad Astra looking to contest. Baron just one of those objectives that, you know, you never want to give away for free. You always want to, like, contest it, because, you know, if you're this behind and the enemy team gets Baron, it's just game over. So you have to do something. You have to try at least.
Soul is looking.
He went in a little bit too early there, and he's going to get taken down very, very quickly. But, I mean, Baron does have a bit of a comeback mechanic attached to it, because obviously if you are the team that's behind, the team that's taking Baron has their magic resistance lowered quite considerably from the passive debuff that Baron puts out. So it can give kind of teams that are behind like a chance to like take a miracle team fight and win it back, but definitely is not going to happen there. Soul and Forsaken just kind of get blown up
at the end there too.
Oh, that's going to be left, right, good night. Easy Doctor going down. Aceco going to finish him off. Is going to take the Orianna Soul. And now he's going to take up Leona. Hardmona is just resetting like absolutely crazy, living on a sliver of health. Soul now is going to be the next one to go down by the looks of things, and they're just really just farming kills here as Destiny looking to close this one out in a record fashion. 24 minutes, nice clean game. Not a ton of mistakes. Try and pick up a couple more kills. Yep, there's Nard diving the down. I think they're just going to let the minions end at this one here. Oh, yep. Perfectly timed Zhonya's from Mind Sigma to let the minions end the game. That's a GG well played for Destiny. You know, back in form from what I can see. Ad Astra had a decent early game where they kind of stalled it out like they needed to. Maybe needed a bit more proactivity around the map, a bit more Leona roaming. Needed to see that Olaf probably get into the enemy jungle a bit more, but unfortunately they just couldn't make it happen, and Destiny have picked up the win today. Absolutely. Now, I mean, going and having a quick look at the kind of damage graph here, as we can see. Massive damage on Nah. Nah, just extreme lane bully. Really made some incredible plays in those team fights. And, you know, that teleport bot lane really got his team ahead.
In this tournament.
Guard is just a very good player in general. And obviously Prodigium played a nice clean game, landed a lot of bindings. But Guard also played extremely well. So, I mean, both those players obviously did get to like freely counterpick their lane matchups. So
that's true.
Not really. I don't know. I think Ad Astra, you know, the players themselves might not have been bad. Like they clearly kind of like knew what they were doing to a degree, but I think Destiny,
maybe just the inexperience in the draft.
Yeah, exactly. Destiny just has so much more experience as a team drafting, and we really got to see that in this game with, you know, Destiny just out-drafting them like absolute crazy, left, right, and center, and getting counter picks for free pretty much everywhere. Nothing you can do as Mundo into Nah, not much you can do as Leona into Morgana. So
just truly out-drafted. But they'll learn from this. I think that it was I think the Olaf pick was like great return. Like, oh, you're gonna pick the Morgana? We'll take the Olaf.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like the first couple of like lock-ins were really interesting. We saw Tristana locked in first, and then we saw
so much potential.
Morgana locked in, and then, you know, in response to that, we saw, you know, the lock-in of Olaf, which I thought was really intelligent because, you know, Tristana very good at healing herself.
So much of the CC on the enemy team. They should just be able to run into the backline with the Mundo at
Tristana
that point.
Can't ult you away. Morgana can't do anything to you. Olaf, very strong champion. But, I mean, the Mundo lock-in that kind of went before it was a little bit...
he sort of just does the same thing as Olaf, right? At the moment, he kind of just ignores CC and runs at the backline.
Yeah, definitely. But
like,
but the thing about Olaf is that like it's very difficult to counterpick like an abusive matchup into Olaf because he's such a strong like early jungler. that there's not a
Exactly.
lot
His
of
dueling
matchups that
is
he can
insane.
like really struggle in early. So like picking the Olaf early there, blind in the jungle, is not that bad. Picking Mundo blind, on the other hand, is quite risky. Nara is not the only champion that absolutely dumpsters Mundo in the top lane. There are definitely other champions that give him a fairly considerably hard time. I know
Yeah,
I
for
know
sure.
Singed used to be like a very good matchup into old Mundo, but I'm not sure about now because his passive would negate flip from being a thing.
Yeah, that's right. They probably have a pretty similar cooldown too. I think the Mundo CC ignore is on like an pretty short cooldown for what it does, and if you pick up the orb that drops off when you get CC'd, it reduces it by like 10 seconds. So yeah, it's super short. I think he does pretty well into Cinch now. We should probably discuss our MVPs for this game.
Yeah, MVPs, as I said, for me, it's definitely between Guard or Prodigium on this one. I gotta say,
Yeah,
Guard
look,
just absolutely took
I
over
really
this
like the
game.
way Prodigium's pick was just like perfect into Leon, obviously, and he's going to play that to like his full ability. It's just pretty easy champ, and into Leona she just does so well. So I think he did really well. But honestly, I think the call for the TP bot lane really won them this game. When Nah, as soon as he got Mega Nah, he TP'd bot and he just got a huge kill bot, and they all got out with their lives to some miracle. I think I'm gonna give it to Guard.
Yeah, definitely. So DST Guard gonna be our match 5 MVP for round 1. Congratulations.
Let me jot
And
that
talking
down.
about the enemy team MVP, I would have to say, honestly, considering he basically had to play a 1v2, Caitlyn, second highest damage in the game, and one of the best KDAs as well. He only went, looking here, 006. He didn't actually die once the entire game. 006. The entire rest of his team basically ran it, and he went 006.
That's true.
And
I
he
mean,
also
Ad Astra
was the
were
one
kind of just
to
a null factor in this game, but out of everyone who kind of did nothing, maybe Caitlyn did nothing the best.
yeah, exactly. It didn't give anything away to the enemy team. Most of the kills that they did take back, obviously, only 7 kills to their name, and most of those were off the back of like Caitlyn trap onto tower when Nah TP'd in, etc.
Yeah,
Like that sort of
which
thing.
was just
So
excellent.
I think Chen definitely did play the lane quite well into Ardmona. Probably the only lane matchup, like specifically, where I would say the two laners were fairly even was Chen into Ardmona. But unfortunately, like, you know, bot lane is a 2v2 and Prodigium just kind of gapped the enemy support too hard, both in
Yeah,
pick
that's
and
right.
just playing the role in general. So I would say Chen definitely, even though he didn't like pop off or do anything too crazy, definitely was a backbone here, and definitely a player to watch in future to see if he's, you know, able to really be maybe kind of the carry for this team.
Yeah, I'm happy to give that to Chen too. I think that's a good pick.
All right, excellent. Well, with that being said, I think we're going to throw it over to a little bit of a break. We're going to be back at 5 o'clock for Game 3, where we will see...
Game of the week. This is going
to be
repeat
Game
from
of the
last
Week.
year.
This is going to be Destiny versus Jewpies Angels, our very own
2020 Grand Finals.
2020 Grand Finals rematch.
Obviously, Jewpies were able to pick that championship up and finally snatch it away from our villains, Destiny. But who knows? Maybe Destiny have got to come back this year. They're kind of my underdogs for this year. They just had a great showing. Let's see if they can bring it back.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have anything that you're particularly looking out for in that game?
Well, they kind of caught me off guard with the Tristana. I have seen Ardmona play that pick before, maybe even before Senna was released, so I know he's super comfortable there, but I do want to see Prodigium be like super proactive. I want to see him play just something crazy that he can hard carry the game on. Maybe right back at guard too, because, you know, he's another top 5 player in the comp, so I would like to see those guys both get some hard carry and absolutely obliterate their lanes in the next game. But obviously, you can't count Jewpies out. Their Alpha Arcasia is just like a nuts jungler. We saw him make so many like 5v1 plays on Fiddlesticks last year. He had a couple games where he wasn't so good, but he's just done so much in the last season. Same goes for Blade Xer. Obviously, objectively the best player in the comp, so we'll see what happens. Oh.
Alrighty, folks, and we are about to hop into our final game for round one of none other than the Next Tier Esports League for 2021. We are indeed going to be seeing a rematch of last year's Grand Finals. It is going to be Jewpies Angels on the blue side versus Team Destiny on the red side of this draft. Definitely am excited for this one. I'm joined here once again by none other than Billy Django Willing. How are you doing?
I'm so ready for this game. Been waiting for this one all week. More
Definitely.
excited for this game than my own, to be honest.
Absolutely,
This
me
is
too.
some prime time amateur league legends coming at
Definitely.
us right
If there was a time to tune in, now would be the time to definitely tune in. We are indeed going to be starting it up as soon as possible.
I think we are ready. It should be starting any second.
I know, we're waiting for them to click the button. There we go. We are hopping right on into Champ Select here of the
Now-
draft. I do need to change the thingies. 1 second. I did forget to do that. Liam is going to be on me for not selecting the correct logo.
So, I wonder, because Destiny have played 2 games in a row, they might have given up a few picks in their last match. So, I wonder if they're just going to draft something completely different here. It looks like they're banning the Morgana early, so maybe we'll see a Leona pickup from Jewpies Angels.
Yeah, maybe.
Challenger for Jade and Dream to Meme have been super oppressive bot lane last year. I believe a Dream to, Big Fudgy was playing ADC instead of Challenger for Jade last year. Challenger for Jade was playing ADC in maybe a different team. But I think they're going to both work really well together. Our scrims against those guys have just proven, like, yeah, they're a force to be reckoned with for sure.
Obviously, real Liam Polio, none other than Kane Bradshaw up in the top lane. Very established top player. Did favor himself kind of more like, he liked to play tanks a lot. One of the top laners in the tournament that really showed that when it comes to competition, even if you have a bit of an elo gap between you and the person you're playing against, and maybe not like as good in terms of like micro or macro, if you just pick a tank, sit top, and click the R button in team fights as Malphite or Ornn, you can still have crazy impact. And then a lot of teams started kind of copying him doing that. So, we'll see if he's still sticking with that, or maybe, he did play a little bit of Juggernauts. I think he played a little bit of Urgot as well. So excited to see what he's going to be pulling out as well this season.
Yeah, it will be interesting. It looks like Jewpies have gone straight for the Viego pick. Obviously, great pick again. Like we said before, it can be flexed into so many roles, so pretty hard to try and counterpick that. But Guard's just going to go really safe for the Gnar pick again. He had a great game last game with the Gnar, so I wonder if we're going to see a Gnar counter. Yeah,
the only champions that really do well into Gnar are kind of hard to play. So maybe he is just kind of like saying that, as we mentioned, real Liam Polio doesn't have maybe the greatest of champ pools for dealing with the Gnar. He does like favoring those tanks. So
I think Liam Polio actually has probably one of the bigger top lane champ pools in the tournament. I think last year he did favor the tanks more because someone has to play the tanks in these tournaments. And sometimes it's better as the top laner. We're not that impactful this season, so we're
Alpha Arcasia Fiddlesticks has been locked in. Very exciting to see. And they are going to take away the Jinx in Phase 1. We'll see what the Phase 1 counter pick is for that. Probably also an ADC or maybe even a support. We'll see. But this does confirm that Viego likely to be the mid lane pick. They do have Echo, who is another good flex pick between Aceco and Iron Sigma. I know Aceco was a big fan of that Echo last season, so wouldn't be surprised if that does continue. They are going to lock away the Tristana, though, which is a fairly decent matchup into the Jinx. You have the burst damage to really be able to deal with her, and you also have the W gap closer to deal with her range, as well as having a lot of range of yourself. Late game Jinx is just absolutely disgusting in a 5v5 setting. I think Jinx, like, depending on how you play with like Runan's Hurricane and those rockets, maybe wins 5v5, but I think Tristana in terms of a 1v1 will catch out Jinx more times than not.
Yeah, I suppose she has that single target burst damage, right?
They are choosing to ban out Leona here, trying to ban out kind of the good engaged supports to go with Tristana. Wouldn't be surprised if we see Alistar or Nautilus taken away here, something like that as well in our second ban phase. They really do not want harder engage picked into this Jinx here when paired with a Tristana, because as we all know, obviously Zenith Blade into a Leona Q with Tristana jumping on you with her E is just a ton of damage, super hard to deal with. Definitely not something that they want to have to worry about.
And that's exactly what we should have seen last game too, is once the Morgana was banned on one side, or picked on one side. Sorry. Sorry, excuse me. Because the Morgana was banned on one side, it's safe to assume that Jewpies were probably going to pick the Leona, because that's exactly the point of Morgana these days, is just to counter those hard engage where you couldn't get CC to death. So good to see Destiny have banned that Leona in return this time.
Absolutely. The Morgana being taken off the field does make things like Leona very, very scary. Same with the Thresh, same with the Nautilus. They just want these champions out of the draft. So we'll see what they're left with. Astra is still open. Maybe, in my opinion, the best pickup here. Flay is another thing that really does screw with Alistar, especially with Thresh, and he's been taken off the board. They instead decide to go for the Orianna lock-in. Makes a lot of sense considering you do know it's very likely going to be a Viego on this Bladexa pilot. I do believe Viego has been one of Bladex's more favored picks.
Yeah, the champion is outrageous right now. He has Blade of the Ruin King built into his kit, which is just like so strong. As soon as he can get onto like one of the back line, even the front line, I think he has like some pretty good percentage health damage. So yeah, it's such a strong pick right now. And once he gets those resets, the champion's just like unstoppable.
Destiny are fantastic. Just needs to work on communication, map awareness, laning, vision control, CSing, landing skill shots, objective control, early game, mid game, late game, ganking, and getting kills.
Yeah, some early trash talk coming out of Jewpies.
I love it.
And the Aatrox being locked in topside, that is an interesting pick.
Aatrox
I
into
do not
Nah.
know this matchup.
Well, no, like I said, Nah is one of those champions who really, like, his big struggle is those champions that have low cooldown gap closes, able to just consistently jump on top. Looks like support set maybe looked in for Prodigium. I know he does like to play this pick. It does do very well into shutting down Jinx. Like we said, you do want to be picking some kind of engage, and set is very good. Rel also incredibly good. I have been saying this again as well for quite some time, and that is that Rel is very good. Rel is very, very good, and I'm glad that she's being picked up. Rel is going to do extreme work into making this Galio not that big of a threat, because her Q is going to just do tons of damage. It's going to heal them. Her passive is going to make Galio nice and squishy, steal all of that MR and armor, and make Tristana really just able to burst down these two people that much better. Rel, Tristana, very scary lane. But I didn't think anyone would play Rel. She's very underplayed, but I think she's very, very good.
Well, if anyone was going to do it, it'd be Prodigium, right?
Oh, for sure.
I'm actually not the biggest Rel fan. I think when her transformation, once she's jumped in and she's just like a little walking sentry, basically like doesn't move, it's just like way too slow, and she needs to hit those big Qs and get a shitload, sorry, excuse my language, a buttload of armor in order to get those in order to just not die with that low movement speed. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan. But
the
I'm
champion
to be
kind of jumps in with W, lands a big AoE stun, clicks the R button, sucks you all in, makes it so you can't really run away from her, and then it doesn't matter if she's slow. And then she's going to be like using that Q to just do big damage, shred AoE armor and MR, be really obnoxious. Not only that, but steal armor and MR as well. So she's going to get super tanky. Especially with that aftershock, which is almost always taken on the champion, and then she also has a AoE stun, which is very easy to land. So especially with that ultimate, you can land a big stun on multiple people with the ult. So very excited to see Prodigium pull out this Rel here. Galio is going to be a decent pick for kind of preventing her from having her way with Jinx. Very good at kind of just standing in between the enemy Rel and Tristana and the challenger for Jade. And obviously, if Challenger for Jade does not get shut down in this lane, Jinx is going to scale out of control. But, you know, Echo, very good jungler at diving. We've seen Guard with those bot side TPs to dive. So Challenger for Jade does have to be wary in this matchup, but they do have a little bit of pressure themselves. Bladexa, arguably, you know, now that DST Guard especially is playing top lane for Destiny and isn't on the mid lane, probably an undisputed best mid laner in the tournament. Alpha Arcasia on the fiddlesticks, very good champion at diving lanes, getting lanes ahead, scary champion in team fights, especially when comboed.
We just saw him go nuts on last year too.
Oh, absolutely.
All of Alpha Arcasia's best games were on the fiddlestick ults from like over the wall from in the jungle,
exactly.
Just like decimating.
It started demanding respect bans too. This was when Fiddlesticks was not considered a very like strong champion at all. Like shortly after he got reworked, nobody really was like on the Fiddlesticks hype train, but We saw
After
Alpha
our first
Acacia
game,
really pull
after
it
our first
out.
game last year, after a few scrims and the first game we played, we just couldn't handle the champion. Like it's so hard to play around. You need like immaculate vision and just always have to be thinking like, where's Fiddlesticks? And the moment we think we have a good team fight, Fiddlesticks is over the wall and just aced our whole team. Like it's so insane. And I think Alpha Acacia plays it really well too. If you were a betting man, who do you think's got the dub?
I mean, well, it's hard to say. I think if this game goes late, obviously Fiddlesticks, Viego, Jenks scale into the moon, but I think Aceco on this Echo, if he does snowball, we've seen him do disgusting things with this champion when he is ahead, just absolutely insta-killing people with those phase dives.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a hard one. I actually think it's super close. It's really going to come down to how these lanes play out and the roam we should see. This is, if we're talking in like terms of clash, I think this is like a tier 1 or tier 2 kind of match we've got going here. So we should see some high level plays. We should see everything we see from high elo meta, lots of roaming, lots of vision control, lots of ganking. Really excited for this match.
Absolutely, but we are about to hop right on into the game. It's going to be exciting, and gotta say, I'm really looking forward to this one. This is going to be we're not going to get this matchup again for quite some time. So being able to see it in all its glory here today is I'm really looking forward to it.
In the first week, let's bring it home, boys. Let's see if Destiny can get back their gold that they lost last year. Are we going to see some early game invades this game?
I don't think either of these teams like invading. They usually go for like very kind of like defensive looks, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see it. I think a lot of the times, like both teams kind of just expect themselves to be able to just kind of gap their laners and win that way, but I mean, in this kind of a game where like both teams are close, maybe they might want to try and like go for a risky bit of a hedge play. We can see the side of Jewpies Angels here really stacked in this bush, trying to see if maybe Destiny are going to be going forward a little bit too far, overextending for their own invade.
I think they expected Destiny to come right out of the gates and try and bring the fight, so they just thought it'd be safe to hard stack that bush, ward the try, and, just stack the bush. If someone walks in there, they're going to get that first skill on that trade. So, well played from Jewpies trying to get that early read, but not quite got it. Nah and Oriana have gone straight to defend the red buff, and they've sent the Echo and Rel and Tristana down to the blue buff. So, I think maybe if Jewpies had gone for the invade, they might have got something a bit better. Just because, like you said, both the invades are kind of weak on both teams. Either of them could have gone for it, and I guess there's a little bit more appeal from Destiny, but unfortunately, slow start for this one. No Fiestas like we like to see. We can see that Asuko is going to start his blue buff, while Fiddlesticks is going to start his in the top side as well. So we should see some early ganks, hopefully.
Definitely, for sure. Now, we do see, in the top line, DST Guard is just going to be really getting these kind of big grasp procs. He does like going grasp on that Gnar pick. Usually, fleet footwork or glacial is kind of picked, but, he's really liking that grasp, really just like stacking that one up, and I can't blame him because he was getting a lot of stacks on the Mundo, maybe looking to do the same thing on Aatrox here, but the difference between Aatrox and Mundo obviously is Aatrox has a lot of range and a lot of very scary tools to just get on you and stick on you and be very abusive. He also has a ton of sustain in the laning phase compared to Mundo, in terms of just being able to really survive a lot of that poke. So a little bit of different itemization by Guard here is going to be necessary. Probably going to pick up maybe a bit of a Bramble Vest or something along those lines to stop himself from just getting collapsed on by the Aatrox, auto attack with that passive, and have a ton of Aatrox's health healed up. Does help quite a little bit in that regard. But in the mid lane here, Bladexa is going to have his work cut out for him in terms of surviving, not dying to just Iron Sigma's immense amount of poke that you get out of picking a champion like Oriana, referred to by many as, queen of the mid lane. Never a bad pick at any point, really. She's always very, very strong in many, many metas because she can fill so many different types of compositions and do really well. So can never really count that champion out.
I think there's a lot of combo potential there too, with the Gnar and the Echo both being able to dive in with that orb. Such a powerful combo always.
Ooh, here we go, going in for a little bit of an all-in level 2 challenge for Jade, forced to flash away. The Ignite does get dropped, but she is going to be taken very, very low. Now Prodigium and Ardmona are forced on the retreat. 3v2 as Fiddlesticks comes in, lands a beautiful fear. Ardmona going to flash heal to get himself out to safety. Prodigium holding onto the flash, actually decides to just use that W. The move speed going to be enough to get him out to safety. Excellent recognition of his options there, and is going to be able to save that flash to maybe make a play on the flashless, I should say now, challenger for Jade in this bot lane.
Yeah, it was super important for them to hold their flash there. Like, that's just Prodigium, you know, mastery over his role there, knowing that, like, they just did not have the damage to kill him at the end. Super good to see there. Now, like you said, they do have that flash up. If the gank comes back, they got the pressure from the Fiddlesticks, so there's room to move around on the bot. Unfortunately, Echo hit back, so there wasn't too much to go off of, but yeah, it was really good first start to see from Prodigium and Ardmona for sure. Now it's just going Mega in top lane. I don't think too much is going to come from it at this stage. He's got the level advantage, but I do think Destiny Guard does probably have an experience advantage in the top lane. I think William Polio probably plays more, but I think Guard has probably played more at a higher elo. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, especially with William Polio on like one of the more snowbally fighter top laners. Doing pretty well so far, I'd say.
Ooh, Guard. He does have to blow that hop. There's going to be a big window here of William Polio to really try and put some pressure on him, but so let's take the intelligent option and just back off. Definitely can't fault him for that.
That's right, and look, Gnar has picked up a little CS lead there. It's still pretty even in just about every lane at the moment, so more or less pretty good to see. I think Echo is the only one behind, and it's probably because he's been trying to force this gank here. He got the flash, kind of waste there, unfortunately. Echo's gonna E into the taunt on Galio. Pretty casual. They dealt with that pretty help-handedly. Fiddlesticks is here. I'm not sure they know it. I don't think too much is gonna come from it though. Everyone's probably just gonna walk off here. Maybe Echo pass to mid lane here and see if we can get a kill on Blade Exa, but Blade Exa is pathing down into the river. Might be something on. With the 2 level diff against Asuka too, he's invading now.
Definitely, I mean, Aceco is one of those junglers who, you know, is definitely not a pushover, but, you know, when you have a level lead like that, definitely something you can do. Prodigium gonna get his
I think he's down here.
He does have his flash still available. No, he doesn't. He doesn't have flash available. He's going to go down to the Galio. Aceco now might also be going down to Viego. The Ignite is going to take Bladexa. Is going to pick himself up a kill. Big Gnar from Guard into a 3-man stun. But unfortunately, the follow-up isn't there as Ardmona is going to get picked off from the backside. And DST Guard is going to be the next to follow. Alpha Arcasia going to get finished off by Iron Sigma. But it's just too little too late. The damage has been done. And that is going to be a massive 2 kills. Over
just
onto
another huge ulti from Guard. Like, that was just massive. If he had some teammates alive there, might have actually been able to do something.
If there was like one other person from like Jewpies Angels there, or Destiny I should say, that would have been massive. That was like a 5-man Gnar into a 3-man stun.
Yeah,
huge plays from Guard.
Unfortunately, it was just that Iron Sigma too. He just got there too late. Obviously, Blade Exa was roaming into the jungle and was dueling with the Echo, just like completely abusing him in his own jungle.
He had the TP
and I guess Iron
too.
Sigma stayed to push in his wave, so he got to the lane really late. But he was there maybe 5 seconds earlier and was able to hit that ulti onto the Gnar, they absolutely would have cleaned up that fight. So unfortunate, but Blade Exa came in from behind that fight and was able to kill Ardmona. Obviously died for his efforts, but you know, stopped the rest of their team from dying with that such low HP they had to. Just, so close from Destiny to be able to really pull that one out of the bag. Jewpies have gained themselves like a nice lead here though now. They do just be shilling a bit. They're going to sit on that gold and play pretty cash. While I think Destiny are going to look to try and burst this drag. Blade X is still mid. I think he's got time to get there. Looks like they aren't really reacting for this one. Looks like they're actually just going to trade for Herald top. You can see Fiddlesticks has moved towards that one. Oh, and Jinx threw out the ulti too, but wasn't able to pick much up. Oh, Prodigium. No, he's been caught by the trap. Unfortunately, Jinx used the ult, so there's no kill potential there. He's super down in experience right now. After those couple of deaths and the early back that he had to take, he's super far behind. He's probably got the lowest XP in the lane, so unfortunate for them there. I wonder if Jewpies will capitalize on that.
Absolutely. I mean, we're just looking at Ardmona here, who, you know, very even in terms of the ADC, as we mentioned, but, you know, when you have such a lead like that now over onto, you know, the jungle, Alpha Arcasia, level 6, Aceco level 6, but definitely a CS lead and a assist lead, 3 assist lead onto Alpha Arcasia here. The dives from the Fiddlesticks and the 3 degrees are scary. Brilliant Polio, though. He is looking to go in, but Aceco with a beautifully timed gank is going to stop Brilliant Polio from finishing him off. Or is he? A big set of Qs is going to heal him all the way up, forcing the side of Destiny to disengage. But meanwhile, in the bot side, unfortunately, Galio not pulling the trigger on that taunt just in time is going to give Ardmona enough time to get out to safety. But they're going to be, you know, fundamentals of macro. Look at this. These are these teams knowing what they're doing. Enemy team makes a play topside, immediately Jewpies Angels forcing a play bot side. That is how you play League of Legends. Excellent recognition.
Stuff that we were talking about.
Exactly.
Like it, yeah, absolutely great execution. Obviously, the Fiddlesticks ult went wide, didn't quite catch anyone with it there, but I don't think that was really the point. It was really just try and zone them off and let Shelly do as much as she can do to that tower. They got about 4 plates, I think, off that, so looking really good.
Yeah, tons of gold. Jinx is going to be definitely like very ahead in terms of gold here over the enemy Tristana, especially considering like Tristana is a champion that, you know, wins this matchup early and then maybe like falls off a little bit in terms of like 5v5 later. So not what you want to be seeing, but I mean, both those champions definitely are menaces late game, so we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, Halo Blades Tristana, I guess her whole point is just to pop her E like as fast as she can, right? So maybe if she can just try and burst down the Jinx before she can get going, they might have some ability in the fight there, but it's going to be pretty hard for either of them to get onto each other in that stage.
ACST Guard is going to be taking a lot of damage here. Really, and Polio missing the 3rd Q, but it's not even going to really matter as he is able to get about a quarter of Guard's health. We mentioned that, you know, Aatrox is just really able to be abusive in this matchup, or a bit of a misclick there, but, you know, he might be taking a fair bit of damage here. There's the Gnar coming out from Guard, does about half of Really and Polio's HP. Aatrox a champion that's going to heal that up a little bit, though. Nice to see.
Oh, popping 2 pots there. He's just used both of his refillables there, so I think he's just chilling as well. I don't think he knows that the entire Destiny side are in their top lane. He has his ulti up again, so maybe he's pretty confident he can just like life steal off that fight like he did last. That was incredible how he survived that. Unfortunately, he just had to skim over it because there was so much happening bot lane as well. Aceco's sitting in the bush, it's pinked ward, he doesn't know he's here, there's no vision for Destiny.
Yeah, they definitely want to make a play on this top side, but I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. As you know, really, and Polio is just really playing respectfully. He's not overextending. He does know that if he walks up a little bit too far and Aceco is there, he is going to go down, probably getting told by Alpha Arcasia, his jungler, where, you know, Aceco could be topside.
We can see the roam coming in bot now. There's heaps of vision there. They've got Destiny's river control is immaculate.
The flash taunt does land onto Ardmona, not having any follow-up. Pops the exhaust though. Challenger Jade popping the heal to give himself a little bit of extra room. Alpha Arcasia with the Crowstorm flash forward is going to find the damage onto Ardmona. He's going to go down. Beautiful stopwatch by Alpha Arcasia is going to keep him alive for a little bit longer, but here comes Bledexa. The Galio ultimate coming down a little bit too late. Not going to hit anybody. Aceco coming in from the sidelines, from the river, looking for Alpha Arcasia. Doesn't quite find it. Chrono Shift used to get him out to safety. Or Chrono Break, I should say. Does follow him over with that ultimate on Viego, and the damage is crazy. Gonna find himself another kill, using the Echo spells to look for a dive onto Iron Sigma. Iron Sigma maybe gonna get himself out to safety. And I think Bledexa is going to live to see another day. Really and Polio in the top side now, though, using that Aatrox ultimate to really out-heal DST Guard in this 1v1 and keep himself nice and alive. Is just going to push in that wave, force a recall, and there's so much to unpack there, but the Jewpies Angels snowball is just going out of control.
Yeah, this game, I think might come down to another one of those Blade Exa diffs right now. Obviously, Alpha Arcacia just hit a huge ulti bot lane that Fiddlesticks Crow Storm with the flash forward actually just ended Ardmona, and Rel, I don't think escaped with their life there either. But Blade Exa is just like roaming so well and using his ulti reset so effectively. It's looking really good. And they're going to pick up this next Drake, actually. Ocean Drake, I believe.
Absolutely. Viego is just one of those champions where if he is ahead, he is actually a absolute menace. Has the Blade of the Ruined King finished already, looking to go into, I believe, what's going to be a Kraken Slayer. Could go for the Triforce if he wanted to. Both builds are viable, but Kraken Slayer definitely more often seen in, you know, the current kind of iterations of Viego. I remember when he came out, it was definitely competitive on which one to go, even a few tank Viego builds, but I think Blade of the Ruined King at Kraken Slayer has cemented itself as a very, very good pick, considering that his passive does make him auto-attack twice, technically, so you proc Kraken Slayer incredibly quickly.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how this game plays out. We're going to slow down a bit now, all the junglers are back in, and I think everyone's just going to go back to a bit of a farming for a bit, but I think Jewpies have stolen a pretty significant lead. They're about 4k ahead at the moment.
Yeah, 4.5k.
What do Destiny need to do to try and get back into this one? Try and catch some of that gold back?
I mean, well, they do have an excellent composition for catching people out, but I think, you know, this Rift Herald here is going to be fairly important. First tower is yet to go down, and if Jewpies Angels, or Destiny should I say, are able to snag away this first tower, look at that damage. Viego just absolutely getting a monstrous solo kill onto Iron Sigma. So gross, that champion, when he gets ahead. Viego is just an absolute menace, but is going to be able to snag himself a solo kill there. But as I was saying, Team Destiny, if they are able to get first tower with that Herald, perhaps, it's going to be really, really good. But it does look like Alpha Arcacia is actually trying to maybe get it himself here, setting up in the river.
William Pollard has just used his dash forward. He's really looking for these fights with guard at the moment. I think maybe he's feeling like in a bit of a comfortable spot, but I think might be looking pretty good if he can get Mega Gnar. They
are going to be able to grab that Rift Herald over for themselves. Meanwhile, William Polio does pop the ultimate, looking to collapse, but you got to expend that hop cooldown before you collapse on Gnar. You can't just go in without him using it. He's just going to hop away to safety.
Right. And Gnar's about to hit Mega Gnar right now. Aatrox is ulted down. Obviously, Alpha Arcacia is here, so Gnar's probably not going to engage, but I'd say probably for the next 60 seconds, he probably does have that advantage if he feels like he can pull the trigger. Looks like there's something happening at red buff here. Iron Sigma was going to get some vision, maybe rotate top, and it's just been slain by Blade Exa again.
Oh, he's going to die again to that ignite. Big Galio ultimate here, though, is going to find itself two members of the team. Aceco gets caught up in the taunt. This is not good. He is going to get Perma CC, not able to get the Chrono Break off in time. And now, looks like Jewpies Angels are just going to have complete domination of the top side of Destiny's jungle. Run all over it, steal away that red buff, likely steal away the other camps as well. And that was just an absolutely beautifully timed Galio ultimate, as well as, again, Blade Exa finding himself another pick on Iron Sigma. It is just a little bit of a mid-diff going on right now.
Yeah, and Sigma kind of got debated a bit there. I think this team might have like pinged him to go and just like get vision on the red buff, so Echo could come and take it if he needed to. But the whole team was there waiting. I think Jewpies just had like, proactivity on that one, got there before them. And they're just going to pick up this first tower here too, I think.
Definitely first tower gold, almost a 8k gold lead, about 7.5k right now, is just really, really dominating. In terms of the lead that they have. Crowstorm looking to find himself onto DST Guard, does get the fear. Hop going to be used to get himself out to safety, but not before taking a massive amount of damage. Prodigium trying to peel the best he can, but he is dropping fairly low. Prodigium might actually go down here, we'll see. No, they are going to both be able to get out with their lives, but meanwhile, in the bot lane, Blade Exa just bullying Aceco, forces him to pop the Chrono Break immediately. Can't take any more damage from that Viego right now.
Asuko is so far behind in this matchup. He's about, 30 CS down to Fiddlesticks, and definitely a lot more gold. Blade Axe has just been tormenting him in the jungle. Everywhere Echo tries to go, Viego is there to ulti on top of him and stop him from going anywhere.
Exactly.
He's definitely getting punished so hard by the Viego.
That's the thing about Aceco, is I find that he really, really does like playing these junglers that, you know, while Echo is an incredible jungle and an incredible champion when he's ahead, he's really just absolutely terrible when he's behind, and we're seeing that kind of, you know, in full display here, as you know, he is just struggling to pick anything up and is, you know, sitting 0-3 with a CS deficit. Fiddlesticks, when he's behind, is still very relevant, because you dash into a team fight and get a 5-man fear, like, congratulations, you just won your team the team fight. And that's a lot easier to do
it's
than
just
land.
over after that, right?
It's a very, very easy compared to landing like a 5-man Echo W or something. That's very difficult. So Echo definitely has a lot harder time making things work when he's behind, especially, you know, compared to a Fiddlesticks. But
yeah, and it's just so hard for Echo to come back, even once he is behind. He just really needs to snowball forward to be able to have like any relevance.
the SD guard actually going forward does pop the flash.
The tank Echo this game. You're right, but Liam Polio is getting a 3-man gank right now.
He's getting 3-man gank, but he is healing up quite nicely. Oh, beautiful bit of CC. Stops him from getting that 3rd Q off. If he had gotten that 3rd Q off, that would have been like half his HP easily, and he would have probably like taken Prodigium down with him, but was able to get a good bit of CC there to keep him alive.
Up that wave too. On this rel pick is actually supremely good against this Aatrox. That's I think the second time that rel has just stopped that Aatrox from being able to do anything. I don't think his dash is big enough to get out of rel's ult, and rel is just like once Aatrox is in there, he just can't get out.
They're actually gonna get themselves 2 towers here.
I think Jewpies went to go bot lane to try and catch Ardmona, but they...
Ardmona flashing forward on challenge for Jade. Heals popped on both ADCs. Ults him into the tower and is going to find himself a beautiful solo kill. That's what I was telling you about to Django. Is just... Tristana might have, you know, a bit of a harder time in those team fights compared to Jinx, but in terms of a 1v1, such a strong champion, and Bladexa is going to find himself.
Thankfully, Bladexa is going to come in and even up that 1v1.
Oh no! Oh my goodness, the SD guard getting absolutely baited supremely. Tries to face check into the control ward as Bladexa runs away on low health for the retreat, but Hallow Crowstorm from Alpha Arcasia is just going to delete guard's health bar. It's worth noting that he has Ninja Tabis and a cloth armor built, so he is just getting dealt true damage by this Fiddlesticks right now.
Man, that play could have gone so much better, right? So because Destiny were hard pushing the top lane, they didn't have much vision proactivity on the bot side where Ardmona was farming on his tower. So when they just went for that 1v1 against the Jinx, I think Jinx was expecting some follow-up because there was 3 Jewpie teammates in that jungle where they were fighting. But he just got simply out 1v1. Ardmona with the W behind Jinx, ulting him into tower. It's just like, it's so fresh. It's like probably one of the cleanest plays we've ever seen from Ardmona. But unfortunately, just because they were lacking the vision control in the jungle, I don't think he knew the rest of the team was there. So Viego just came and one-shot him like he's about to do again, I think.
He's looked like he's probably going to be a very dead Ardmona. Literally does not even need to land any of his skill shots. Just right-clicks the poor guy to death. Doesn't even need to pop the ultimate. It is just that scary right now to be on the receiving end of a 7-1 Viego. So much damage coming out of that person.
Oh, it's so huge for them. That's so unfortunate that fight didn't go Destiny's way. Otherwise, they would have just got such a good trade that could have got them back in the game. 2 towers and a solo kill bot lane. I don't know if that Tristana had just gotten out just in time, might have been okay. But I think Bladex has kind of given up on Asiko and it's given him some breathing room, and it's now just torturing this Tristana a bit, who is just trying to solo farm and get fed while the team is doing stuff on the other side of the map. Just not quite going his way twice, unfortunately.
Absolutely, we do see Challenger for Jade now, just kind of sitting back, doing what Jinx does best, playing very safe from a distance. Farming up 0-1 and 7 on this Jinx. We did mention that if Jinx was able to get out of lane phase without really being shut down, it would be a big problem for their composition to deal with. Their only champion that can really dive and blow up Jinx is Echo, and, you know, Echo is just too behind to do that. Like, Echo absolutely is just not going to be able to get that done. Is forced to go into that second item. Zhonya's here to deal with the fact that there is a very, very fed Viego on the enemy team. So he's going to lack a lot of damage needed to shut down this Jinx. So once Jinx does get this Runan's Hurricane completed, which I imagine is going to be probably on the next recall, it's just going to be very difficult to do anything about her AoE damage in team fights.
Yeah, the Shirellia's being popped from Galio.
Interesting Shirellia's there.
Trying to catch something, catch something mid, trying to catch Iron Sigma out again. But no, yeah, I think they were pretty safely behind the tower. So that's really on cooldown. I think that's down for about a minute, maybe a minute and a half. So we'll see how that goes for those guys. The rocket just got sent up into guard. I think that rocket just stopped guard's back, and he's going to get collapsed and killed by the team.
A wonderful play there.
Huge rocket from Challenger for Jade. That was so perfectly placed. I don't think they had vision. That they didn't. That was a blind rocket to catch the Nah, stop him from the backing, and just got a perfect 4-man collapse there.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
really, really well played. But
really
it does look
nicely
like
played.
Jewpies Angels are going to make the absolute most of that. Play topside though. Get this bot tower, mid tower. They're not even going to get it actually. Aceco flashes and then Chrono breaks back. That was a little bit of a panic flash there if I've ever seen one. Imagine if he had flash to be able to flash after he chrono braked over the wall or something. But no, he's going to go down. Another one's going to go down. This is just, what can I say? This is just Bloodexer being Bloodexer. He's just running over the enemy team. No matter where he is, where Bloodexer is, people are dying. He is just so fed right now.
Yeah, young bloods like to call this one a Blade Exer diff. Simply when one team has one Blade Exer and the other team doesn't have Blade Exer. It really would just like solo carry these games. I hate to jump on the back of the Blade Exer train, but gosh, he's just by far like the best player in the tournament, and he's proved it time and time again. He's just absolutely hard carrying this game. Had so many good roams, just completely shutting down this Echo and this Tristana. You love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, in a you know, in esports, right? They like have the like wife diff or girlfriend diff thing as well. Yeah, and he's you know, yeah, 2020 Bloodexer was like single Bloodexer as well, and you know, now he's a committed man. So.
Blade Exer. Oh god. He's really reaching his final form here before he just chads us all. God help us. This game's really gonna slow down for a second here. I think they're Jewpies have picked up the Baron buff, so they're going to pick up a couple of buffs, pick up their red buff, get some vision in the bot side, not entirely necessary. I think they're just waiting for the wave to push up, maybe catch someone out in the jungle here. They're just going to shove through mid, I think. They've caught Iron Sigma out at bot lane tower on the back.
Iron Sigma is absolutely going to go down here. He's going to get taken out by Bloodexer again.
Shirale's Galio is just doing so much work here. And really, Polio is just getting the 1v1 trade for the tower too. He's got 2 levels up. I don't think Guard wins this trade anymore, unfortunately.
Yeah.
He's too far behind.
Well, he's going to get ganked down though. He's going to get completely collapsed on 4v1. He's going to get just thrown around and killed, but obviously, Jewpies Angels, intelligent team, they're going to recognize, like, alright, you guys can take the bot side, the top side.
Yeah,
we're going to take your bot lane inhibitor.
Like that. When your enemy team has Baron, you need to be stopping and trying to clear those waves the best you can. It might have been a position where they just thought, nah, like, I just can't stop them. If we step up, we'll die. So they commit to the trade bot, but it's still like always a losing trade. If that's the mentality they're going for, they've just lost.
Storm comes in, beautiful positioning, is able to land the fear onto both players, and a crit rocket from Challenger for Jade finishes off the kill. Meanwhile though, here comes Bloodexer stealing up that Rel passive. Is not able to make any work of it by the looks of things.
Once again, the Crow Storm has just been so crazy this game.
The positioning of it was immaculate. It hit just perfectly to hit both members of the enemy team right on the 2 edges. But here we go, Shirale's Galio lands a taunt onto 2 members of the enemy team. Aceco going to get hit up with a lot of damage, finished off nicely.
Dude. The dream is real. He just Shirale's into the fountain to knock them back out of the fountain and just let Blade actually clean that up.
I gotta say, if there was ever a team to really make a bit of a, you know, a bit of a message here, and that is that, yes, like, you guys may have beaten us, or, like, many times in the past, but we took out the grand finals, and we are still the best team this year. 25 kills to 3, I think, is the final score there. Absolute dominating fashion from our very own Jewpies Angels, really cementing themselves as, yes, they are the team to beat, and they are the team to look out for.
Once again, like, Jewpies is showing off just like such incredible like leadership. They're making all the plays around the map. They're doing everything right. They're really the team to watch and the team to beat this tournament. If you're not doing what they're doing, you're losing. Like, it's so crazy. Destiny, I guarantee you, is still a top 3 team in this tournament, and to be beaten like that by the top team just shows how much of a gap there is between these teams. That is such a huge win for Jewpies to get started with. I think Destiny really need to go back and hit the books, watch the tapes, figure out what's going wrong there. Such a huge
Absolutely.
game from those guys.
I mean, if we want to throw it over to MVPs, I think it's hard to go wrong. 16, I believe, K
Oh,
damage.
16k
16.2k
damage
damage.
in
13
27
and 1
minutes.
performance in 27 minutes. I think
Oh,
it's
so
hard to
nutty.
go wrong. I think Alpha Arcasia had some absolutely beautiful plays, definitely, but I mean, every single fight was kind of just one off the backbone of just Bloodexer finding these just crazy picks, just absolutely all over the place. So for me,
Just
I think it's
using,
definitely got to go over to him.
yeah, for sure. The way Blade actually used that Viego ult to jump walls and catch people, off guard, and he blew so many flashes and then still got the kill. Like, that guy is just outrageous on that champion who is just outrageous. Like, yeah, that's a perfect combo for those two. Really happy to see, that champion get picked up by the best player in the tournament, as he's just proven today. Happy to give the MVP over to him. But if we flip the page over to our unfortunate losers of this one, who I think still played like a pretty good game. They played a really good game last game and just got caught out a bit this game. It's tough to say who won this one. I think
I
just
gotta
looking at
say,
damage graph.
DST guard, the 5-man Nah, plus the 3-man stun. Like, not only that, but he had the highest CC score in the game, by a considerable amount. I think Prodigium, definitely some notice to Prodigium. He had a higher vision score than the opponent's support while losing, so he would have had less room to really kind of place and sweep vision, and he still managed to finish with a higher vision score than a Dream to Meme, which just really shows Prodigium's absolute fundamentals as a support player just shining through. But in saying that, I think it's hard to ignore DST guard. 13k damage, the next highest
Yeah.
on his team, 8.1, just
It
absolute
is huge, and
dominating
it shouldn't
performance.
go unnoticed, but he did go 0-4. Like, damage graph is great, yeah, but when you think about like what actually happened in the game, he was just sitting top lane all game, just trying to stop the Aatrox from going ham.
That's true.
Aatrox went 2-2 and 2.
I suppose as well that all of the winning plays that Destiny made in this game were kind of off the back of Rel as well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it came off the Nah ult and the Rel ult, but like, yeah, in that term, I think Nah just like he was just auto attacking the Aatrox all game, so I think that's where the damage comes from. I might throw you a fastball here because I think play of the game is going over to Ardmona. I think that 1v1 that he got in the Jinx while their team was taking topside was just outrageous. Like, I think Jinx had the lead there. She was way up in gold, but Ardmona just simply outplayed the Jinx and got like a sick kill. And if he'd gotten away, it could have been a huge difference maker in the game. Probably still would have given up the tower regardless, but getting away with his life there too would have been so huge. So I'm kind of torn on this one. I think it's going
I mean,
to the ADC or the
it's
support
worth
for me.
mentioning that while he did get the like cool W behind and then alter into tower, Jinx didn't actually take a single tower shot. Tower was aggroed on minions.
I think she took one
No,
at the end. She didn't take a single tower shot.
didn't take a single tower shot. It was cool, but
Yeah, it was cool.
it was just a 1v1 that he would have won, like, regardless of the tower being
Yeah.
there or not.
The style points alone, he's got to be.
Definite style points. But in terms of like one player side, the whole game, I think it would definitely be like Prodigium or Guard for sure. I think Ardmona
Yeah,
played well, but I think Ardmona also had the most deaths on the team and just was getting caught out,
Yeah.
like pushing side lane, overextended by Bloodexer time and time again, and was just kind of like needlessly snowballing that champion. So I definitely
I would
think
have given it to one of the bot laners, so I'll concede to you, and we'll give it to the Rel for this one.
give it to
Some of those
Prodigium.
ults against the Aatrox were nutty.
All right. Definitely. So Prodigium going to be the losing team MVP of this, or the ace, as OPGG likes to call it. You got MVP of the winning
ace.
team, and then the ace of the losing team.
Yeah, I like that, the ace.
So anyway, definitely well done to both teams. But that's gonna be it. That is gonna be.
I have just updated the standings. If you want to throw it over to the leaderboard, we can maybe just break down week 1 before we wrap it up with some sponsor stuff.
Definitely. Well, I mean, we gotta wait for the tournament thing to tick over, do its over ticking, and get over to the actual standings screen. But definitely, it's been some great games. Obviously, which game was your favorite out of the 3?
Yeah, undoubtedly the last game. I thought Destiny's the first game Destiny played today, which was game 5 for us, or the second game played today, was it was super fun. It was a high kill game, and we just got to see Destiny do Destiny things where they run around the map and they troll and they get these sick team fights, and it was super close. But at Astra, just unfortunately got a few unlucky plays where Destiny escaped with their lives, and it changed the game. That's a common thread that I always notice throughout Destiny games, is that it always kind of feels close, regardless of who's going to win. If Destiny are winning, or if, in this case, Jewpies are winning, it feels like at any moment, like it could turn, which is just like, I don't know if it's just the pressure of going up against Destiny, or just the way they play, their crazy play style, their inty play style. It's great to watch at the very least.
Odd Mona, I can go and watch it. She like the tower was aggroed on the caster minion that was like right on top of her. It didn't hit her. The big chunk of damage came from the ultimate. The ultimate does like 300 base magic damage or something stupid. It's like that's what did the damage. It wasn't tower. It was well played.
Man, it was a sick play anyway.
But
like we said,
you had
Tristana
minions on
was
the tower,
gonna
so
win
you just kind of pushed her into the tower that was aggroed on minions.
Yeah, you're right. But yeah, like we said in the post lobby, the pre-game lobby, we knew Tristana was going to win the 1v1 and Jinx is going to win the team fight, and I guess that's what played out there.
That is definitely what played out.
Just good to see that I think last year we mostly saw Admona play center, and that's really what I was expecting, considering she's like super meta again right now.
Oh yeah, center's really good right now.
Yeah, so to see him pop off on like another champion like Tristana 2 games in a row is super good for us to see. Like that champ pool is much bigger than we were led on to believe last year, so
yeah, definitely. But I mean, I wouldn't count out that center pick. Center extremely strong right now, both as a fasting champion going the Divine Sunderer Black Cleaver build, and as a CSing carry champion going the Kraken Slayer Guinzu's build. You can really flex her 2 different ways right now, and I think both ways are definitely about as strong and viable as each other into the right composition. So really, really excited to see how round 2 evolves from this. But for now, I mean, thank you to everyone who has been tuning in. I'm going to probably throw it over to a bit of an end screen, unless, Django, do you have anything else that you want to add?
Yeah, just to go over again. So in the first game, unfortunately, there was an FF tonight from the team FF for fun. Have just FF'd against Corona Spaceship, who are getting their first win tonight, which puts them 1-1. Oh, sorry, 1 win, 1 loss on the leaderboard. The other games, game 2 was Destiny versus Ad Astra, where Destiny had won and Guard picked up the MVP for that game with his sick Gnar plays, and then Chan 9000 got the ace for his team. And then obviously for game 3, we're giving that MVP over to Blade Xer, who just popped off in that Viego. Just some outrageous scenes with the Blade Xer diff. And then we're giving the ace to Prodigium for some sick role plays that he got top lane.
Wait, exactly, Oddmoda. Pay attention. I'm watching the games. It's my job.
Epic. Alright. And look, I'm liking the look of that scoreboard. I don't think it's gonna stay too long like that for too long. But
definitely. I mean, hey, you might. Who knows? You keep it up. Who knows? But you'll have to tune in to round 2 to find out. So until then, to Django, do you want to tell everyone where they can
run through some games for next week as well? So
round 2
coming up this Thursday, we have Ad Astra, who we saw in our second game today, go up against Job Seekers, who played their first game on Thursday, against Casuarina Gentlemen, who got the win. So it'll be interesting to see how those 2 stack up. I think those 2 are pretty good teams and are probably pretty evenly matched from both the games that we saw from them. Then we have the Casuarina Gentlemen versus Purple Cobras at 7 p.m. on Thursday. And then we've got FF for fun going up against the Youngbloods. Then on next Saturday, we have Purple Cobras going up against Ad Astra, Corona Spaceship going up against Casuarina Gentlemen, and Job Seekers going up against Jewpies. So kind of a big week for Job Seekers. We'll see if they get some wins on the board.
Absolutely. Well, folks, until next Thursday, I will see you all then. My name is Jackson Cadius. Thank you so much for tuning in for today's stream. I've been joined here on the caster desk by Billy to Django, and we'll see you all next time.
Peace.